Hola Madridistas, welcome to a very special episode of the Let's Be Real podcast, where if you notice on the screen, there are some things different. It's almost like a PowerPoint presentation that you see in school. But yeah, we're going to be getting right into the midst of some analytics based on Tchouameni. And then later on, we're going to be taking a look at some of the FIFA cards, or should I say the EAFC cards released for ESC 24. And we're just going to compare all of the ratings for some teams and go into a bit more detail for our players. But before we get into any of that, let's just welcome the panel here. Mo's here, Sunit's here. Mo, how are you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm just very excited to be talking about, EAFC ratings today.
Oh, okay.
It was a dream of mine, and today I've accomplished it. I'm on the internet talking about EAFC ratings, so glad to
The
be here.
the sarcasm is on point.
Yep.
It's nice. Nice note to begin the day on, but
Now, and but seriously, I think this is something like this is something different that we're doing for the first time, and I think FIFA is a game that all of us play.
Mhm.
Okay, not FIFA, EAFC now, So it's gonna be fun talking about these ratings, I guess. And
Definitely.
if time allows us, we'll probably moan about the game a little bit.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really play a lot of these FIFA games. If anything, I just play offline, and none of these stats matter to me. But then, when I look at these stats and when I look at other teams who have like shittier players and better stats, that really pisses me off. And this is just a place for us to vent all of our frustrations.
Now, the funny thing about it is like a lot of us tend to go by the overalls, but the real meat of the matter lies beyond that. So I guess today we're gonna be talking about that.
Yeah, hopefully. So where do you guys want to begin? Let's begin over at the international games since we're right in the midst of it.
You did Sunet dirty. You didn't ask him how he was.
Oh,
Nah, he
I
knows
mean,
I'm always cool,
he's
uber
cool
cool.
and he's like super happy right now to discuss FIFA, man. He is this diehard FIFA fan, so
It seems like a slight dig, man.
it's
I
not a
don't know
slight
why.
dig. It's not a slight dig.
Then
You even did a live stream for us and a couple of live streams, yeah, for FIFA.
right, yeah.
Do we have anything planned for EAFC once it launches? Are you expecting any gameplay changes?
I don't know, man. We'll talk about it when we get into it. But
Yeah,
knowing EA, there's nothing going to be changed
yeah.
apart from
I think the burning question is has Sunet already ordered? Put the FIFA game
obviously,
on pre-order.
obviously a
Wow.
month ago, pre-ordered, done, Ultimate Edition. It's done. It's in the bag. It's in the bag.
Like plebs like us, we just buy it when it comes on sale on Thanksgiving or something.
This is the only game I play, so
Hmm.
what can I do? It's
I mean,
the
it's totally understandable. I think
yeah,
especially if you're playing online, sometimes it really gets difficult to catch up. If you
yeah.
start late.
Start late, 100%. So we gotta get in on the grind from day one, 100%, 100%.
All right, guys. Then let's start with the international break. What games did you catch more, or did you catch any of the highlights?
I didn't like watch any of the full games, but I watched some of the stuff. Especially the France against Ireland game because I had this habit of watching France because of Benzema. So I guess old habits die hard. So I was watching the game, and I had to I had to hide my eyes, close my eyes whenever Mbappe was on the ball. But it was okay. I rationalized it as watching for
It's
Tchouameni.
so hard to watch that MF, right? Like chilling around with Tchouameni and shit like that, right? Like it's
For me, the
just
happiest
grinds
moment
my
was
gears.
for me
Mm.
the happiest moment was when Chouameni was celebrating his goal and he sort of like pushed him away. I'm gonna
In the
celebrate
beginning,
like
right when he's running off,
yeah.
right?
And
Yeah.
somebody made a comment that Chouameni is trying to push him away because he does not want it to get infected by his lack
Right.
of ambition.
Oh wow.
That 100% makes some sense. And he
Yeah,
was the one who laid the ball off, right, for the goal.
yeah,
And
exactly. I
boy,
think
that was a banger.
he couldn't find an outlet, so he had to let the ball go for once. And
Mm.
Tchouameni, a first time shot banger, as you said. Tchouameni is the sharpshooter of this team. I don't know why he's not taking those kind of shots for Real Madrid. When you see goals like these, and the goal he scored against England in the World Cup, you wonder how this guy has 0 goals for Real Madrid so far.
Mm. The
So
zero goals, yeah,
yeah,
that's also a telling
that
telling
that has
factor.
been that's a big surprise for me because I've been following Tchouameni since his time in Liga, when he was playing in Monaco. So I expect a lot from him. Um, so I guess we'll be talking more about him, as time goes, comparing his performances. Apart from that, I probably watched like some of the goals that Rodrigo scored. Rodrigo, as always, brilliant. Neymar was also pretty good for Brazil, but
Oh, that
Rodrigo,
that solo dribble. Phew,
yeah.
rolling
So
back the years. Mm,
yeah, but he could never match up to anything Rodrigo does. No
Of
bias,
course,
obviously.
of course.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
so I think those are the two games that I paid attention to, and I heard you guys talk about the Valverde goal. So yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys about that.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
so maybe you can go again. I guess talk about
no,
the
Mo's
verdict
mic
goal.
was muffled, or was it just for me, Jacob?
It seems fine. His audio is fine.
It's fine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I caught the France game. It was pretty nice, especially in the first half. Tchouameni was on another level, man. Nobody could touch him. Nobody could touch him because Ireland were so deep in their own halves that Tchouameni had so much time to, uh, basically dictate the game from deep, and he did it so well. Reminded me of something like it might be hyperbolic, but Xabi Alonso-esque, vision of the game. I don't know how maybe I didn't see enough of him in his earlier days in Monaco, or probably I never paid much attention to his overall distribution, especially last year. But this year I've been, very keen on really diving deep into what he does in deeper areas. Um, but I was really blown away, especially with his first half. In the second half, his teammates kind of stepped up, and he took kind of a backseat role. But in the first half, Tchouameni was unplayable, man. And yeah, I saw the Brazil game. It was nice. Also, there was one other game that I
The
managed to
Uruguay game.
watch. No, I saw the Bellingham game today.
Ah, okay.
I
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
watch the Uruguay game, but I saw the goal. Pretty nice finish. Captain Fede. Was surprised to see in among the people who were trying to block the shot, there was Gary Medel, Gary fucking Medel, who's like what 37 or something at this point, still bossing it for Chile. Um, I don't think there's a position in midfield or defense that this man hasn't played, but it surprises me. Gary Medel is a name that I've been hearing since I was like 12, 13, bro. It's crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch either the France game or the other game, but then the Brazil game. I did catch the first half of the Uruguay game, and like
Right.
apart from like the Valverde goal, I feel like at least for me he was the best midfielder out there for Uruguay.
Mm,
And
mm.
with Uruguay, he takes a bit of a weird role where he plays like a pseudo winger again. Like it's not just like similar to Real Madrid, but quite not as similar. He doesn't bomb forward as much, and
Oh, okay.
he's in charge of like just basic distribution and making sure the opponents doesn't get through. But in this time, we actually saw him bomb forward. He was playing in some of the long balls that we haven't seen him play in Real Madrid. But then, yeah, he was bossing the midfield. He had an overall really nice game.
I think Uruguay changed the managers, right? They got Marcelo Bielsa.
Mm,
Before
Bielsa now.
that, before that, I don't really remember the name of the guy, but he
Oscar
had
Tavares.
yeah he had Fede playing a kind of a weird role, playing deeper. I
yeah.
guess with Marcelo Bielsa, you can always you can always expect all action based games, so, and that suits Fede to a T.
Mm.
Definitely, man. I saw some good things out there, and I just hope, he can keep on the scoring touch for Real Madrid. It wasn't really a long shot as such, the goal, but then it was still pretty far off, and it was a nice finish.
Had to. Oh, also I saw the Portugal game, and Bruno Fernandes scored a brilliant goal, man, out of
Uh,
nothing.
I thought I was the only one on the panel who's going to be catching the Portugal games, but then are you a Ronaldo fanboy too still?
Obviously, man. I was torn between watching um, Latvia against Croatia or the Portugal game, but
Mm,
then I thought to myself, like Modric, I can watch him week in week out. Cristiano, only chance.
that's very true, man. But then what did you
Yeah,
think
I
about
don't like.
Cristiano's performance? Like I saw on Reddit that just the highlight of him missing that big chance and getting the yellow card against the keeper.
To be too eager to, stamp his fucking stubs into. Who was it? I forgot the keeper's name. Very. Oh, that guy for Newcastle. Oh my God, I forgot
Dubravka.
his name.
Dubravka.
Dubravka.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bought the foul a bit too much, but yeah, it was kind of dangerous. But I could understand why he did that. He was getting frustrated. But Cristiano, man, he's what, 38? You can't expect him to be the Cristiano of old. No chance. You know,
I mean, if
just
the
can't.
Saudi league is like according to some people better than League One, then he's been
hmm
absolutely bossing the Saudi league for the last month, man. I think it's one hat trick and two braces and like a bunch of assists as well.
Nobody see when I expected what I expected of the Saudi league players um, the way they would perform. I expected them to be way off the pace, right? But then international games have played at a very slower pace compared to the club games. But even then, like people like Henderson didn't look out of pace. Cristiano, nothing phased him, even though he didn't have a good game. Neymar, you know, he
Yep.
looked fine. He hasn't started a game for Hilal yet, but still they looked perfectly fine. There may be a case Uber Eats League is finally shelved. I hope that's the case. Fucking hell, man, these guys, honestly,
I mean, give it 5 or 10 years, Saudi League will be the best league in the world.
hopefully.
You
But
you
these
heard
guys,
it here first.
mm, true, these guys are saying, oh, you know what? They'll have the same fate of the Chinese Super League and blah blah blah.
Ceferin, the guy from UEFA's president Ceferin was saying that they'll
Oh, he's saying
probably,
he's saying that. Okay,
yeah,
fair, fair.
they'll probably end up the same way, as the Chinese Super League. But I guess the politics are different, right?
Mm.
Yep.
We don't really want to go into that, but I think Saudi League is gonna be one of the top leagues in the world if the level of investment continues, and I definitely expect the level of investment to continue.
And the society in Saudi is very much pro football. They live and breathe the game. So I don't think that's the same case in China. Not as much, for
I,
sure.
I think China, the fact is, like, they are also pretty interested in basketball. You also have to consider the fact that China has a pretty big population, so
Mm,
there's enough numbers for everything. But
mm.
at the end of the day, it's all about uh, getting the getting the right sort of backing. So that's the issue. Financial backing. I think Chinese real estate industry had a pretty big fall over the past few years, and I guess that has impacted football spending over there because most of the clubs over there were backed by real estate companies. So that
Oh,
has been the issue. Yeah.
yeah. For people who don't know, Mo has pretty tight connections with Shanghai's mafia bosses. So
Yeah.
he kind of
Don't
has
don't
inside info.
don't abuse China in front of me, okay?
I'm not abusing China, man. I'm
No,
just
I'm just putting it out in the public.
right. Okay. I'm just warning over your higher connections.
Yeah.
In Shanghai
China
and
is
the
to me
likes.
what Saudi Arabia is to you. So
Oh yeah, true, true,
yeah,
true. But you didn't grow up in Shanghai. But
no, I
anyway,
didn't
anyway,
grow up. Yeah.
fuck that. Let's get on to the crux of today's episode, Jacob.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's get it right into it. I guess initially how we'll take it is we'll discuss about Tchouameni's overall season so far, including maybe the preseason games, and then we'll do a detailed comparison of how he plays for Madrid and how he plays for France.
It's good because we were together for at least two other games, right? All three of us, right?
Yep.
During preseason. So
Yeah, we did watch it
mm,
live watch alongs,
you don't
especially
look
the
too
Barcelona
impressed
one.
with the memory.
Especially the Barcelona one.
I saw his face and he's like not too impressed with revisiting them, but
I mean, once
understandable.
you have games like those, do you really want to revisit them?
Yeah, I know. But
I thought,
still, to
but
kind of understand
yeah, it was
where
not.
this
It was
guy.
not just about
Mm,
the games. Sunil. We had some special
mm,
moments. We had some good banter on there. I look back on it
100%.
fondly, but yeah,
Me too, me too. Honestly, it was such a blast, right? Like for you, it was harder because you used to wake up at weird times and whatnot.
yeah.
But in general, the excitement was there, mainly because of who.
Hmm.
For me, the biggest memory is always, as soon as minute 90 came, I wanted to run away
Why?
because of the game,
Oh
Barcelona.
yeah, true, true, true. Barcelona, man, fucking 3-0, no?
Yeah,
Oof.
whatever it was, like I don't know. Yeah, yeah, we didn't score even one. I thought we did.
No,
No?
I
Okay.
did
don't think
we?
we scored. I don't think we scored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That game
it's
was
even
bad.
worse to right
Juve
now.
game was bad as well, but he wasn't here for the Juve game, I
No,
think.
I wasn't here for the UA game.
Mm.
I did three, if I remember correctly.
We did United,
He did
right?
United, yeah. We did the first one against Milan,
Milan,
United,
Barcelona.
and Barcelona.
Right. So guys, yeah, let's move on, I guess, and talk about Tchouameni. And I know it's not been a real big sample size so far, but he has really established himself as a starter, right, at the CDM position. A lot of people might argue that that's not his best position. I know more, you're one of them. But then let's just start with like the games that we've observed so far.
The way things are going, I think I would be the only one of them. So
All right.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
looks more and more likely.
yeah, man. But how have you been impressed so far with Tchouameni, especially just in the context of Real Madrid, how he's played there?
for me personally, like you know, I think 4 games is too small a sample to be making judgments, especially when you consider the kind of teams that we have been playing against. Yeah, although some might say that Athletic Club is a big team, they're a good team and probably a decent team, but I think they're a mid-table team at best right now. And it was the first game of the season, so you don't really want to make assumptions based on that. The other three haven't been against the greatest of oppositions. What comes next after the international break is probably going to define how we look at Chouameni going forward. Because even last season he had a pretty decent start to the season. So I think that is how I look at it. I want to see Chouameni perform consistently over a period of a season, and and have a good impression with Ancelotti to be making any assumptions about him. Because last season, I think, although for me personally, I never found his game to go down or anything like that. I fail to understand why Ancelotti wasn't playing him even in the second half of the season. So for me, there isn't anything that Chouameni has to prove to me. But I think what Tchouameni needs to do is prove himself to Carlo Ancelotti. Over the period of a season, he trusts him to go with him in the big games, especially the games like the one that's coming up after the break against La Real, and then Atleti, Barcelona, and these kind of games. Consistent minutes in these games, and playing in the knockout rounds of the Champions League. That is how he's going to prove to us.
But my
Yeah.
question is, last year, if it wasn't for the injury and slight drop in form, he would have stayed in the first team.
That's the thing, right? I don't exactly buy into the idea that he had a slight drop in form, because like I have failed to understand like what was that he was doing badly for Ancelotti to drop him. For me, that is something that I've never understood. So
So
I
last
think he was
season,
scapegoated a bit, maybe.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
last season, like,
I don't know. I don't know if it's about scapegoating. For me, the thing is like I think Ancelotti viewed Rodrigo as an undroppable player, so he had to bring him in, and so one player had to go out, so that was Tchouameni.
yeah, and I feel like last season, especially Cruz, towards that end of games, we really needed to get the ball forward, and be more attacking rather than worry about defense a lot, which, hurt us in the end. But then I feel like Cruz did a good enough job for those kind of games, and Tchouameni just didn't get a shout in after that.
Yeah, I think for Ancelotti, the fact of the matter was that he wasn't going to drop Fede, and
Yeah.
he somehow had to keep Rodrigo in. So somebody had to go out, and Luka Modric and Toni Kroos weren't going out that season. I think even this season, it was a bit of surprise for us when he kept Kroos and Modric on the bench, but the pressure came from above. The board pressured Ancelotti into playing these guys as starters. So I think that is something that has helped Chouameni. But I think overall, I have a lot of belief in his capabilities. But to really truly come here and say that Chouameni has made a name for himself, or Chouameni has proved himself, I want to see him perform in the knockout stages and everything.
Wait, can you tell me more about the pressure from the board? Like it's expected that obviously these guys should be given a more central stage, but you're telling me there was even more pressure this season to completely dish the old guard and give these guys
Yeah,
uh
I think especially after everything that happened last season,
last
they,
season, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was pressure from the board to
Mm,
push through the revolution, if I might say, to bring
mm,
in these guys and play them more minutes. I think the likes of Luka Modric and Toni Kroos aren't exactly out, but the objective from the board to Carlo Ancelotti is like these guys need to be getting more minutes. Especially Kamavinga, he was playing left back. They want him more in a midfield role. They want Tchouameni to be getting more minutes. They want Fede Valverde to be on the pitch, and Jude is Jude, obviously.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, but then I have the stats pulled up here, just his who scored rating, which is, I guess, we can't really depend on it, but I feel like it matches the eye test as well for me personally. So considering all of the friendlies as well, right? We faced a very tough Barcelona. They were really good in defense. They were good going forward as well in certain phases. And Tchouameni had a decent game there. And in that Barcelona game, he got a 7.8 out of 10, which is his highest rating so far this season. Apart from that, he's got solid 7.1s to 7.5s. And nothing great, nothing better. It's just for France, the ratings are much higher if you look at the Euro qualifiers. But for Real Madrid,
Mm,
it's always like a solid 7, and he hasn't set the world alight yet. So my question is like, is this CDM position always going to be like a mediocre version of Xiaomini, or can he actually improve here?
yeah, for me personally, I really don't like the fact that okay, for me, I don't really like basing a player's performances on the ratings that are given to them because, like, these ratings, be it who scored, be it, so far score, whatever ratings I will bring up, I think the issue has always been that we don't really understand what algorithm they're using is. And I think somehow these ratings are always going to be partial to players who attack more. An ex-player can have a game where he completely ghosts and then he comes down and scores a goal and he'll probably get like an 8 rating or something like that. So I don't really think that they're reflective of the performances. Yeah, Tchouameni has had a decent, consistent rating, but okay, so now you want to say something?
No. You said if someone scores a goal, it basically jumps up the rating,
Yeah.
which is to be fair, right? The objective of this whole thing, running around, is basically getting the ball in the back of the net,
Now,
right?
okay, fine. But then, do you get an accurate idea of how the player was performing in the game?
But stats
No,
never,
no, 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 no.
are gonna
The
gonna
thing is,
help with
okay,
the
okay,
thing.
okay. Why do we use stats in games? The
To be
whole,
honest, I don't know.
yeah.
For
So
me, it's
that's the
like
thing,
to
right?
supplement your eye test, man. Like, like this player
No,
looks
the
good.
thing
He's
is like
taking some nice touches.
I think stats in sports started being pretty important ever since
In analysis, probably.
yeah. Ever since the advent of Moneyball, people started paying more attention to stats, and people started being interested in evaluating how players are performing. And I think that is how sabermetrics came into the game and everything. But right now, the point of the stats is to tell you how players are performing on the pitch. If there's a stat that tells you that if a player scores a goal, he's been brilliant, and if he doesn't score a goal, he's probably a 7 rated player, then that stat is useless. That's how I look at it.
Like in my whole opinion of the stats thing, like I've always thought about
No.
stats
The
being
thing is like you are considering if a player was impactful or not, right? The player
right.
was impactful if he scores a goal. That's fine, but it doesn't really tell us anything about how the player's performance overall was.
That's why stats shouldn't be used unless and until like you need something to back
No,
up
I mean
a claim.
the thing is like stats. A single stat will only tell you one aspect of it. If you want to get a complete picture, you have to refer to a holistic level of stats. And I think sadly, as end users, those stats are not available to us. You have to pay a lot of money to get them. So that is
Mm.
how it is.
It's not available, yeah, to the
Yeah.
to the normal people, yeah. Okay.
No. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
if you
we
could,
have access to
if
the
you
basic
go,
stuff like XG,
yeah.
XSS, and stuff.
I mean, there has to be a difference between what Michael Edwards is using for recruitment at Liverpool and what we are getting. Otherwise, all of us would be, making dream transfers for clubs. So
True. That makes sense. I never thought on such a level, but yeah. Today, I never thought I would be, getting my
brain pickled.
tickled, prickled. Anyway, yeah. But thank you. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought stats would be, yeah, obviously I knew there would be more in-depth stuff, but the way you put it, like we see barely 10% of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about what we're getting; it's also about how we are implementing it, right? Okay,
Mm.
when we look at XG, right? Real Madrid had an XG of like let's say 1, so we tend to look at Barcelona had XG of 2, so Barcelona was a better team, but that's not always the case. If Barcelona were taking like 20 shots and Real Madrid took 1 shot, Real Madrid had a better shot than Barcelona, which were just probably shooting the ball from outside. So I guess these are the things that we
No,
don't
man,
really
like, okay,
consider.
so in that specific example, like, there is the probability that in those 20 shots, like, one of them might go in.
No, but you have
That's
to
just what
consider the
XG is.
quality of shots, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That is what
but
we're
that's the
looking
thing.
at.
Like,
With
if you take
XG,
if you take 20 unquality shots and like medium quality shots or like very bad quality shots, there's still a possibility that that might go in, like when one of those goes in those 20
But
shots.
you see, the thing is, like, it's gonna tell you the quality of chances that Barcelona were creating. Let's
Mm,
say that they took 20 shots to so, and Real Madrid took one shot to get an XG of 1. That's not possible, but I'm just saying.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the quality of shot that Real Madrid took was better than Barcelona in this example. So that's the case it is. You just have to consider the whole aspect of it.
God. Yeah, I think I see what you mean. It's like instead of considering XG as a whole thing, like you need to go individual shot by shot and consider the goal probability of those.
I mean, you have to look at multiple stats to get the whole picture. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys have read. There used to be a poem in English about six blind men and an elephant. I don't know if you guys know about it.
No.
Yes, so there were six blind men, and they were let amok around an elephant. Everybody is what some guy touched his trunk and said this elephant is like a snake. Somebody touched his back and said elephant is like a wall. So nobody got the whole picture because they only were exposed to one aspect of it. So once you only get the whole picture when you have all the data. And as fans, we don't really have all the data, so relying on stats completely is something that I don't agree with, and especially a stat like player ratings,
Yeah.
because it's not telling us the whole picture.
Oh, that's why you were very against us doing player ratings the last post match, yeah?
That's just personal preference. I don't really, the thing is like I generally tend to have a different view than most people, so it is what it is.
I would like to stand apart. Okay, fair.
It's not about standing
Duty.
apart. The thing is like
I'm joking.
I think Tchouameni is a better central midfielder, but a lot of people would say he should play at CDM. So it's just difference of opinions.
Mm.
Yeah, man, like speaking about that opinion, let's just, I guess like half of the podcast is basically that, right? We're gonna compare
Yeah.
like how he's gonna play, and I guess that's a good precedent. Like we're not gonna focus more on and in depth on the stats, but just on overall play and how the stats back those up. Maybe that's the way. That's a good way to approach this episode,
Yeah, definitely.
right? Before we get into that, I'd just like to read out some comments. So Hassan's here. He says, "I'm not late for once, lol." Yeah, good man, Hassan. You made it. Are you still here? Hope you're still here. Maybe we lost him after we like talked about all of those stats and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Frederick Dahl is here, so he says, "Congratulations to Neymar for breaking the Brazil goal record last night. Overtaking Pele is not easy." So that's the thing,
So
right? Like,
what are
okay,
yeah, definitely. I want to hear your guys' opinions on Neymar, and the fact that he's broken Pele's record. Like how
I didn't flinch, honestly. I was emotionless. He was jumping around like he won the fucking World Cup, but yeah. For me, I just felt empty inside, to say the least. It's a good
yeah,
thing for him. People are gonna remember him more fondly because of that. But at the end of the day, Neymar as a player, disappointment.
yeah. That was a whole discussion I saw online as well. Like, he was the king that was promised, but he was just a prince who never made it to a king. And football
Yeah.
has changed. It's like you can't compare Pele's goals with Neymar, to be honest, at this
Mm.
age, day and age. But then, yeah, feel as
So many more games, so many more games, so many more filler games.
yeah, yeah,
So much filler, so much filler.
I think at the end of the only statistic that matters is like Pele won Brazil 3 World Cups. Neymar didn't even win them a single trophy, apart from the gold medal, which probably does matter a lot to Brazilian
Didn't he
fans.
win a Copa America sometime?
No, no, no.
oh wow,
No?
The
Fuck.
only time Brazil won a trophy while Neymar was active was that Copa America, and Neymar wasn't playing in it.
Oh, he wasn't playing.
Yeah, Coutinho was the one who took them that
yeah.
trophy.
True, true,
I
true.
guess Brazil won an Olympic medal as well.
Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. Like
Yeah,
Neymar didn't win the.
2012?
mm,
I think so. Yeah.
Mm.
right.
But I think to Brazilian fans that was pretty important because of the fact that they had never actually won the gold medal. That was
Yeah,
the
and
only trophy anyone would.
Argentina was used to winning them.
Yeah,
I
so
remember, I remember.
I think it was Neymar, Gabriel Jesus, and Barbosa, right? Gabigol.
Gabigol, I think,
That
yeah.
was a try that led them to there. So
Mm.
Yeah, Frederick also says, true, it is difficult to rate a performance from a player or a team only with stats. I think it is with both stats and impact that I guess. But I guess he doesn't know. It's left to the pundits to analyze all of these things.
We're not pundits.
Yeah,
We're just common men. By pundits, you refer to knobs like Craig Burley? Okay, right. Fair enough.
I don't know. Yeah, you can see all of those guys pull up stats all the time, and
Mm.
making the whole conversation about
I
that.
Bro,
think
they
Craig is
have a
probably
script. They have a
Craig is
script to go by.
Craig is probably the last guy to pull up stats. So
Yeah, not Craig, but in general, those guys have scripts to say for every 5 piece segment, man, 5 minute segment. It's all fucking scripted. But um, yeah, nobody really are pundits. It's just if you get an armchair and a mic, I guess you're a pundit. Maybe I'm a pundit. You know, right now.
pundits on it.
Right.
Oh boy. Yeah, and Hassan still says he's still here, and he also says that that run Neymar went on last night after 6 months out with injury, the one player I wish played for Madrid for fuck's sake.
Mm,
Yeah, before Neymar was here, while he was still at Santos, I think I had this fascination with seeing him at Real Madrid because especially because the illustrious history that we have had with Brazilian players and likes of Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos playing for us. But
Fabinho.
yeah, we don't talk about them. But the thing is, like, ever since he joined Barcelona, my love for him decreased, obviously. But the thing is, like, I still
100%.
consider him a great player, the way he played, like, especially in the 17-18 season. But then afterwards, we've seen like, sorry, in the 16-17 season. But especially after since he left Barcelona, I think Neymar has steadily been on decline. Although he has had some great performances, I think he took PSG to the final. That would probably be a highlight. But he hasn't kept the same level. I think if he had stayed at Barcelona, he'd probably be better regarded.
100%.
Definitely. And Ashik is here. He says, "What up, boys? What up, Ashik?" And he also says, "These days, everyone with a smartphone and a laptop and an Excel sheet are football pundits. Half of these people don't even watch a full match." I guess
They're too
that's
busy.
yeah.
They're too busy to watch full games, man. They're given homework material like what we prepare.
Mhm.
Maybe after a post match, what I make notes. Those guys have people hired to get them notes of multiple games. You know,
But is that
these
actually
guys
true? Like,
don't.
do you actually feel like this guy hasn't actually seen the match and he's just reading off a script? Have you felt that?
Obviously, so many occasions because they have to comment on so many different teams. So many different facets of the game. Like they can't keep track of every single one of them. I don't think so. But we
Eh,
need to get into Tchouameni, man. 33 minutes in, we have to get to the
True.
FIFA ratings as well.
Oh man, yeah, the FIFA rating circuit can take some time, but yeah, let's get back. Um, all right, I'll just pull up the latest slide. So yeah, we're comparing France Tchouameni versus Real Madrid Tchouameni, right? So I have the heat map right here on the screen, where the summary is, or the gist of it is, he plays more advanced and more on the left side, where he tries to cut in and play that last ball in, and he has touches more towards the left and advanced. While for Real Madrid, his touches are more nearer to the box, yeah, and he barely has any touches in the final third at all. So yeah, like
Yeah,
does the eye test match that too? I guess heat map is not really a stat, like you can see it. It's basically the eye test as well.
obviously, man. Like he has a much more deeper role when playing with us. He is kind of designated with progressing the ball rather than in France, where I think it's a much more collective
Hmm.
duty, you could say. I don't know. But in Real Madrid, he takes a proper back seat and let Camavinga, Bellingham, and if Valverde is playing, Valverde do the job of actually being, in much more forward positions, and his duty is to get the ball to them.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it. Like he doesn't get involved in any final third place with us. No.
Right. And more like, do you agree? Like, do you actually see him slinging balls to the box, or is it more like just pass the ball to Mbappe and go and make things happen?
I was watching the game against Ireland, and I think there was a moment where France scored, but it turned out to be offside. And
Yeah.
do you see the heat map of if you see the heat map of Tchouameni, he's occupying those spaces in the left half space, I guess,
Hmm.
in the middle third of the pitch. and he pinged the ball in from there into the striker. I think it was Marcus Thuram, and Mbappe scored, but I think Thuram was offside.
Offside.
Yeah, so those balls in the final third are something that I saw him make when he came to Real Madrid initially. I think he got an assist that way against Atleti, who
For Rodrigo.
playing, yeah, playing Rodrigo's on through. Uh, so for me, the issue here is like if you watch the heat map of Tchouameni for France, it resembles another player who plays for Real Madrid, and that is Toni Kroos. Toni
Mm,
Kroos occupies these same spaces for Real Madrid. So Tchouameni probably has to adjust his game and take complementary spaces to get the ball and progress through. And I think Real Madrid has a lot of players like Fede Valverde, currently Jude, and Camavinga, who can also do those same things. With France, I think Tchouameni came in before Camavinga. The idea to bring him in was replacing Paul Pogba because Paul Pogba was injured, and then Kante also went down injured. So he's probably taking a hybrid role, and the other guy, whoever plays in the midfield, is more complementary to him as opposed
Who
to
was
him,
who was playing alongside him against
uh,
Ireland? I forgot.
Rabiot.
Rabio. Okay.
Yeah. So whoever plays alongside him is like being complementary to him, as opposed to at Real Madrid where he has to be complementary to other players. So I guess that's the biggest difference. And like the thing that I always say, like Tchouameni, if he's given the freedom to, play in the middle third and final third, he'll be a much better player for Real Madrid. But the thing is, like, he has to adjust to what is around him. Like that's something that you guys always tell me. I guess at some point I also accept that. So will we ever see the best version of Tchouameni at Real Madrid? We'll see what happens with transfers in the future. But this season, I think this is going to be his role.
yeah.
Let me put it this way, right? Like when you always mention about his shots and his willingness to take the risk and like fetch out a top corner out of the blue and stuff like that. Like I like that kind of initiative. It's something that's missing, in modern football. Like I would like those Dan Stankoviches, all those guys who used to like rifle long shots from fucking 40 yards. But Chouameni, the thing with Chouameni is when he's playing with us, I think the responsibility is too much. Like you can't expect him to take that kind of shots. Probably against, let's say, Euro qualifiers, first game at home.
Sunil,
It's
if I may interrupt you, do you remember the
right.
game against City?
Yeah,
Tchouameni
I do.
did take the initiative, and the closest we came to scoring a goal was the shot he took. So
Yeah.
I think the fact of the matter is like it's not about responsibility; it's about the fact that he's been given a certain task by the manager, and he has to do it. Otherwise, the manager's gonna ditch him because we saw it happen last season. So he probably is like playing on tenterhooks. He has to cement his position first before he does anything special. That's at
The
least the way I look at it.
the only like I am not disagreeing with you, but the thing is for him to be given that trust, I think he has to take a shot against orders and bury them 2 match days in a row, or at least out of the 5 shots he takes, one of them has to go in, has to go in.
I think, I
Otherwise,
mean, as fans, it's easy for us to say, you go against the manager, but only the players know
no,
what
no,
happens when they go against the
yeah, but
manager.
I'm just telling you, to get the trust, he has to show evidence much more, in my opinion.
And
Otherwise,
I I feel like if when you take these 40 yarders, like it's not up to you. It's like a lot depends on your luck as well. His technique is sound
100%.
for sure. He takes really nice shots, and it's just the fact that he's been very unlucky with the shots, either hitting the crossbar or the keeper making a save or the ball being too central. But a lot depends on luck, and just hasn't been that lucky for Real Madrid to have those two bangers in 2 games in a row. And I don't think it's gonna happen unless like again, Lady Luck shines upon him.
And I also think what Sunet said is right. You also need to have the manager's confidence to be taking those shots because compare the way Ancelotti talks about Valverde when it comes to those
Yeah,
shots to
yeah.
what Tchouameni is doing on the pitch. Valverde has like a complete go ahead. He has a free reign to take the shots whenever he wants from Ancelotti. And I think
And
somebody
he
like
has been
Tchouameni
subpar, to say the least.
Tchouameni doesn't have the same thing, and Tchouameni probably has to be more disciplined the way the team is structured right now. Especially with us playing a 4-4-2 and the fullbacks, especially bombing forward. Somebody has to stay back and provide help to the defense. So I guess that falls on Tchouameni.
Definitely.
But the
So,
difference is, if Tchouameni had the shot of Roberto Carlos, then it
different
would be a
question.
different story.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
how many shots? How many shots did Roberto Carlos get on target?
True, true. It's very few still, but but I'm just hoping and praying, like a couple of times these shots do go in and he finally earns the backing, it'll go a long way.
Yeah. And okay, this is just a side conversation, but do you guys actually think Tchouameni has what it takes to be a set piece taker? Because I don't see it happening with Valverde. I don't see it happening with Camavinga. You can't depend on those players to put the ball in. And
I
who else?
mean, just because somebody has a powerful shot does not mean that they are going to be a set piece taker. That's my take on it.
Yeah, but do you think that Tchouameni can add to it? Because I've seen those dinked balls. He can certainly do that, but does he have that curl and the technique to do that?
So far, I haven't seen him do that, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not on the training pitch watching them, practice those shots, so I don't
Let
really see
me
it.
let me text my insider,
Yeah,
Francesco. You
yeah.
know, he might be able to give me some insights. Man has been pretty quiet. I think he's keeping a low profile. As of late, especially post the final game before the international break, he has been super quiet. But the thing is, for me, regarding set pieces, I think he should be on the end of them because he has height, he has a good leap, he has the ability to, like Jude Bellingham, to probably get a header here or there. So I would prefer that, man,
I,
honestly.
I
And
think I think he's a better
mm,
header of the ball than Jude because I've actually seen him score goals from corners for
mm,
France. I think he's pretty good at that, like you said, and even in our own defensive third, he helps a lot, winning aerial duels and everything. So
mm. I saw Jude attempt a header even today as well.
how was
Shocking,
it?
shocking.
I heard a lot of people, dirtying Jude after the game today.
Really, but he was nice, man. I was telling Jacob, he was very nice.
Mm.
So,
I guess it was
uh,
rival fans, being jealous.
probably, probably. He was
Yeah.
taking up all sorts of positions. Like man couldn't guess where he would go next. He was all over the place. Yeah, Jude was really nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I have another set of stats for you guys to annoy you guys basically, but the basic understanding is he's taken upon the cruise mantle in our build-up, kind of when he played for us. So he's third in the league in terms of passed into the final third and all of those stats that Cruz has. But with France, on the flip side, with us he has 0.3 free passes per game. In France, he has 1.2.
Bro, are you on slide number 6?
I'm on slide number 5, just after the heat map.
5? Right. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, he passes just the way, like you guys said, right? He has more involvement in the final third, so he has been having at least one key pass per game with France, and with us, he just does not have that opportunity. And every every third game, he might have a key pass. That's it.
If I may interrupt, like, do you guys hear some static?
Yeah, I do. I don't know who it's from though.
Probably
Like
from me,
severe
but
static.
Let me mute my mic and see if it's from me.
it's probably from me
It's
because
from Jacob.
it's raining. But
Jacob.
then it'll be fine for the viewers because OBS like filters all of that out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, okay, fair.
Yeah, then we're golden.
Yeah.
So
All
key
right, then.
passes, yeah,
Yeah, key
much more
passes much.
involved in the final third.
Definitely. And he has an assist to show for it in France. With us, he doesn't have it yet.
I think all these stats do is like back up what we've been talking about for so long. Against at France, he has a more free role. For Real Madrid, he doesn't really have that. But he has to adapt. That's the truth of the things. He can't really change reality. The reality is that we have other players who probably could do that job better. So
And
that's how it's
and
gonna
and,
be.
and the formation that France plays is a completely different one. The system is completely different, right? That is
Yeah,
also a huge factor.
definitely.
They have so much more attacking arsenal within them to really take away from probably take away the attention from a guy like Chouameni. Whereas with us, everybody's equally targeted. There is no Karim Benzema or Cristiano. Maybe the only guy would be Vinicius, probably Jude Bellingham this season. But apart from that, like nobody is really getting too much attention from our opposition.
Yeah, the stats do back that up. And can't really just totally depend on the stats, but yeah, the icons does agree with this. I guess we can move on to the depending part of it. Like again, it's a change of system. but it looks like he has a lot more responsibility with Real Madrid. Uh, it's the one thing that I would like to like point out in this slide is like his interceptions per game. So France,
Mm.
just looking at from, I don't watch France, okay? Let me just try to guess their style of play, and they're much more high pressing than Real Madrid, so he definitely has more interceptions per game. Is that right? Or
Nah, France are not high pressing.
No.
But Tchouameni is more high pressing with France than he is with Real Madrid. But I
ah,
think that is the fact of the matter. Like that is the thing that I've always talked about. Tchouameni. Whenever I watched him in Monaco, he had this free role because of the midfielder that was playing alongside him. So he could go and press opponents, press and harry. And I think this is like one of his best qualities. When you let him lose on another player, he has the ability to press and win the ball. And I think this is something that the current role in Real Madrid does not really suit him. With Real Madrid, he has to focus more on occupying half spaces and uh, forming a defensive three
Being
when we are in attack and all those things.
he
So
really can't be proactive with us.
yeah,
He
so
just can't.
he has
Mm.
to be more, I guess, reactive
Reactive.
the way Sunet put it, and cover spaces. With France, he can be pressuring opponents, winning balls up high, and helping them into good transitions.
yeah, man, that checks out because if you check his clearances per game, that's like way higher in Real Madrid. So that means he's spending a lot more time in our box as well. While with
Yeah.
France, he doesn't have to do that.
These are
Yeah,
stats from just this season,
Yeah,
Jacob?
yeah, just this season.
I think
Okay,
the
okay.
French stats are from the Euro qualifying.
Hmm.
I think that started like towards the end of last season, and these stats are from Real Madrid's current season, like 4 or 5 games.
Yep.
Yeah, makes absolute sense, because most of the times, like when we look at it this season, not necessarily last year, but this season he has been sometimes the last line of defense. When people like Alaba, take a stroll, Tchouameni has to step in.
And I think this season he has been a little bit better in his reading of the space and positioning compared to last season. And I think that is reflected on the stats and has been reflected on the games. And I guess that brings us back to the question that we started this whole thing about Tchouameni with. Has Tchouameni been resurgent? So
Yeah.
I think in this short span of games we can see that he has been better in certain areas that Real Madrid need him to perform. But to get an overall picture, we really need to watch more games.
Yep.
But my question is this resurgence more down to a much more definitive role rather than where it was a bit more mudded, clouded with misconceptions last year because he didn't really know what he was doing.
Now, for me, the thing is like this was a role that he wasn't really playing at in Monaco, so it was a
Hmm.
period of adaptation. And
Mm.
like I said, towards the second half of the season, I didn't really understand why uh, Ancelotti made Tchouameni the scapegoat. I mean, I did understand why he made it, but then I don't really think it was Tchouameni's fault. So I guess with games, if he had gotten the continuity at the towards the second half of last season, I think we would have seen this improvement from him. But right now we're getting the continuity, so probably he's showing what he can. But at the end of the day, it's a too small a sample to be making judgments, and I think we'll see better once we get the whole picture of a season under his belt.
Yep. I'd just like to add, last season when he was playing, he had Toni Kroos beside him whenever he was starting. Yeah. So he was kind of playing the Casemiro role where he didn't have to take a lot of touches, but he was trying to go bomb forward and be that option in the final third also, while Cruz was the last man in midfield.
Yeah,
While
I think
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
to add to what you said, I think last season what Cruz was doing was like giving him the confidence to bomb forward and sitting back when he did. But then Chouameni also had to come back and do the Casemiro role because Cruz cannot really do that.
Yeah,
So Cruz was basically fucking him up, right?
No, I mean
It's
it's
like
not about it's Cruz was trying to support him, but it wasn't working. That's the way I would put it.
no, it's basically you can just read it one way, Cruz asking him, "Chal bhai, like I'll take care of it. Don't worry." And then he's crying out for help, right?
I,
I
I,
don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, if you let your Cruz hater side come out, yeah, we can't
Bro,
really do
no,
anything.
no, 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 no way, no way. It's
I'm
not
just
about
kidding.
hating him.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not about hating him, man. But we all knew. Remember the Cruz Modric doesn't have legs. Infamous scandal,
Yeah.
mafioso shit, bro. He can't play a six. We all knew that from day one, and these
Yeah,
guys knew
I
it.
mean, we do know that, but the thing is, like, Ancelotti literally forced him to wear six against better conventional wisdom. We can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, next year we would get to know. Francesco would sit down with us, and we are going to ask him why. Why did Carlo do this? Why did Carlo do that? We need some explanation. But
Mm.
I guess these people know better, man. 100%, they would know better. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess like before we like wrap things up on all of the stats and the Tchouameni discussion, I'd just like to ask, just with the stats that I see here. So total duels won, it's much more higher in Real Madrid. He destroys a lot more plays because he plays that kind of destroyer role. And
Hmm.
do you actually see him become a Casemiro and be elite at it, and you know take teams totally by surprise and let no one through? Do you think he can grow into that role?
I don't think so. He's not that type of player. I think that's simply how I put it.
But okay,
Like
if
I see where Mo is coming from, right? Like he has always been of the opinion that Casemiro has a naturally more defensive inclination and has a much better defensive reading of a situation than Tchouameni, who his natural instinct is to be on the front foot, right? But let me ask you this more, yeah, like that can be kind of polished. That can be kind of coached into him, probably out of mere necessity, because getting another top class stadium in this market, you know what it's going to take up,
I
maybe.
I mean,
Mm,
Casemiro in itself is a pretty unique player because
yeah.
uh, okay, when we talk about defensive midfielders, we talk about destroyers like Casemiro, and then we talk about players like cerebral players like Busquets and Xabi Alonso and of
Mm,
the ilk.
mhm.
I think Tchouameni is somewhere in between the way he is
Yeah, yeah,
currently. He can
yeah,
do a little bit of both, but
yeah.
I don't really see a point where you can polish your stuff to an extent, but you really can't become what somebody who is naturally inclined to do those things can. Because Casemiro is like world class at what he does. If I started coaching Casemiro into being, one of those distributors like Xabi Alonso was for us, or
Mm.
interpreter of space like that Sergio Busquets is for Barcelona, he probably learn some of it. He'll probably get better than he is currently, but
but
he's
but
never
let's
gonna be world class.
but Casemiro, people forget Casemiro. Yeah, he was a striker during his youth academy days, but people forget that Casemiro was a destroyer and a pure destroyer only, right? But he added goals to his game. I'm not talking about set pieces. I'm not talking about getting the odd header here and there. But he added goals to his game in his latter years with us, like runs from deep, especially.
I mean, the fact of the thing is, like, why was Casemiro only playing defense, like, completely destroying plays? It was because of the way Cruz and Modric were, and it was because of how the team was structured. Once those things went away, when Cristiano went away, when we lacked goals, I think Zidane gave him the freedom to make those runs. If you go back and look at how he was playing at Porto, you will see that Casemiro had a much broader game besides, just being a destroyer. And even today at United, you see him playing a lot more passes, something that he wouldn't done after Madrid because Cruz and Modric were there. So I think
Mm.
Casemiro adapted, but then at the end of the day, Casemiro's game, the main part of his game, was destroying, and I think he's world class at.
Similarly, you can look at
Chouameni is not.
Chouameni's.
Chouameni is not gonna reach that level.
Let's agree to disagree, right? Like you could flip the same scenario in Chouameni's favor as well. At Monaco and with France, he has a much more hybrid role, right? Like two-way role. Um, but in my humble opinion, like he has all the attributes to be a top-class CDM and a guy
Okay,
who just
let, let,
sits and
let,
mops.
let's just consider this, right? You have a complete clean state, right? And Chouameni is your best player. What would you do? Would you put him in a role that suits him best, or would you put him in a role that you think that he could play and would help the team? You would obviously put him in a role that suits him best, right? So Deschamps had a clean slate. He picked up Chouameni. He put him in a
True.
role that suits him best. So that those are his best qualities. I
Mm.
don't really think the defensive side of the game is like playing like Casemiro, like a destroyer, is Chouameni's best side of the game. So while Chouameni can polish it and get better at it, I don't think he will reach to a level where he is like Casemiro. I don't really see that happening.
But I think his overall game can kind of
Obviously, man,
negate
he's like
negate
20.
stuff.
He's young. He's going to develop and he's going to get better. but he's not going to be a destroyer like Casemiro. I think that was what the question
But
was.
even if he doesn't stop plays all on his own, his overall distribution and passing range is better than Casemiro, right? For sure. So I think that's going to help him out. You know, let's see, let's see.
Yeah, it'll help him out, but like the question is, will it help our team out? And like in the future, will we again go for a destroyer in the transfer market?
It depends on what system, like what Mo was saying, what we deploy.
Yeah.
What is our synergy in midfield? Like what complements the setup rather than the profile? If you're gonna play this diamond, right? Would a destroyer help us completely? I don't know.
Well, right, man. I mean, that's all I have about so many. Again, this is all like based on the 4 games that we
So the
saw.
final question:
Uh-huh.
Resurgence or Hyperbole?
For me, it's a resurgent,
Uh,
man. Like I see like a slight difference in how he plays this season versus last season. I feel like he's much more comfortable now and in this role compared to last season when he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing.
Mo?
yeah, for me, I think it's too soon to tell. I don't really think that he had a dip. So my starting point is different.
This guy, oh my God, this guy. I wish he was fucking Boris Johnson's, godson or something, because he has all the traits, all of
Yeah,
it,
I do.
all of it, all of it. Not the idiocy, but just the diplomatic bullshit he spews. But I'm joking. But yeah, man, Resurgence too early, like what Mo said. But I'm pleasantly surprised with his overall contribution, and it makes me so much more comfortable when seeing Tchouameni. Last year, I was like, yeah, Tchouameni is great. He has good uh, characteristics to actually complement the overall grander picture. But is it going to work out? Was always my question. I never could really pinpoint out a performance where he was, just marvelous. But in the small sample size over the course of preseason and the first few games, like every other game, we are raving about Tchouameni, and if not for Bellingham, he would be headlining every fucking newspaper the game the day after the match. As simple as.
But
Yeah,
without Bellingham, how many points will we have? Like two?
yeah, that's a different story. That's a different story. But Tchouameni has been doing his own bit pretty
Yeah. No,
effectively as well.
I feel you.
Right.
Right then, guys?
So,
Like, you wanna
mm,
like go to the FIFA stuff or EAFC stuff?
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's.
Um,
You see that smile that's just popped up on Sunet's face, right?
Yeah.
no, I'm just looking at Germany losing to Japan
Again?
2-1.
Wow.
Uh, Kubo isn't even starting, man. Like even after you saw that goal he scored the other day. My God, bro, the bent on it. Did you see it?
I mean, Japan has a pretty good team even without Kubo, I think.
I don't know. People like Ito is pretty good. Like, but still, man, I
You,
expected Kubo to.
I think Japan is a perfect example of what a collective can do. When you get the right synergy.
Hmm.
Kubo has had
Yeah.
he has had 3 man of the match performances in La Liga as well in the last month.
Yeah. For me, what angered me was the fact that this guy Yamal, he came out on the stage, and just because he's 16, everybody's like suddenly giving him the award for La Liga's best young player. There's this award for La Liga's best player under 23, and I think Kubo was also among those nominated. I think
Hmm.
Kubo should have won it, but they gave it to Yamal just because he's 16 and
Oh,
everyone.
monthly there is an award. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a monthly award. Jude
Oh.
wasn't nominated, so
Okay. Because
because he won the player of the month. So
player
yeah.
of the month. Yeah. Man, I really want one more player of the month, man, for this month. Just fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So that I can have him, in the game for next
In the
month.
game, yeah.
But right. Yeah. So the first slide we have. So overall thoughts about City's ratings. Who should we go with
You
to
should
kind
probably
of
start,
look at step?
you should probably start yourself because you have a better idea of how these.
Right. For me, Haaland, he was what, 89? So a +2 is pretty warranted, right? Like even Benzema, when he had a crazy year last year, he went from 89 to 91. So I think it's fair. De Bruyne, 91. I don't know why his rating has. I always have this this agenda against him because like I would rate him at max 88. This guy 91.
Oh,
Why,
you're in camp
bro?
Courtois as well then.
Yeah, 100%. Like I didn't steal his girlfriend or anything, but like, bro, when was the only time where Luka Modric was 90? I think it happened just once. But De Bruyne, every fucking year, I think from 17 or 18, he's 90 plus. I don't get the hype.
Oh, he's 90 plus every year. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get the hype, bro.
For me, the thing
Is
is like attacking players are always going to be higher rated. De Bruyne is always in the game as a cam, so I guess that's something that
Yeah.
works in favor of him.
and isn't he
Mm.
like the Premier League's best player, and it makes sense that he's like the highest rated midfielder?
Yeah. That's also something that really grinds me. Premier League players, I guess they get overrated in the game.
The gap used to be.
Even if you ignore the top players, right?
Mm,
When you come to the lower players, I think ratings of Premier League players is much higher than rating of La Liga players at the same level.
on 100%. The thing is, oh shit, I just fucked up. Where's my fucking PowerPoint? Okay, found it. No, the thing is, the gap between La Liga and the rest of the leagues and the Premier League, the ratings used to be much higher. They are much more streamlined as of late.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
because EA started sponsoring La Liga now of late. Before
true,
that, they didn't
true,
really have an
true,
understanding
true.
with them. And Premier League was the only league that had an agreement with them. But now,
Yeah,
I guess
official.
now it's like La Liga is being sponsored by EA, so hopefully, we get some better ratings in La Liga. Because
Yeah,
whenever
100%.
I watch the ratings of La Liga teams, the pace rating is always shit. And
Mhm,
if the pace rating is shit, you can't really use the player on FIFA. So.
100%. Yeah, man. When we get to our player ratings, like there's gonna be a few of them that's gonna raise eyebrows for sure. But yeah, City ratings. Apart from that, Rodri was an 87. He got a +2 this year. Okay.
Yeah, but
Ruben Diaz got a +1. Hmm.
Sans in the chat, he says Rodri's stats absolutely stink. Does that mean he just sucks to use in the game, or is it?
Yeah, he sucks to use in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, he's not
You see, his pace
exactly.
rating is like 58.
Oh
Is
wow.
When
it
you have
58?
yeah,
Fuck.
when you have that rating, it's like you're a complete
Oof.
bullshit player. You can't use
I
them.
I never use these mugs, I use a La Liga team always. So I never use these guys, but
When we're gonna do Real Madrid ratings, we're gonna see Valverde's card, and I think that's probably gonna be one of the best cards in the game.
oh man, it's gonna be unattainable. Even last year, his 84 rated card was super expensive in the beginning.
And if I
So
remember correctly, a couple of years back, Militao didn't have that high overall, but his card was like one of the best defenders in the game, just because of how good his pace was.
yeah, yeah. Pace, body type, his dribbling also. Like you can dribble out of tight spaces with Militao. He's very silky on the ball. Um, But yeah, anyone else of interest? Doku has a 77. I think he was 77 last year as well. So no promo push there for Doku, probably because he's black, and comes from Belgium.
Wow.
Maybe that's why. Kyle Walker has slipped down to 84. It's mad.
So how old is
I
he
am
now?
surprised Grealish is still 85. I thought he'd probably go to 87 or 88.
Yeah, he was 84 last year, I think.
Do you guys
Only got a
remember
+1.
when Jadon Sancho was at his top? They pushed him all the way up to 88 or something.
87, 87.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was mad because I didn't really think he was that good, but ever since then he's had a mighty
But
fall.
with Dortmund, I used to have a liking for him, man. He used to look really good, no?
I mean, he was good, but he wasn't 88, 87 good.
Yeah, true. But he got that 87 after like 3 very good seasons, if I remember. Very good seasons
He
for
had 3 seasons
Dortmund.
at Dortmund. I'm
No?
surprised. I don't know.
Two, at least two. At least two. More than one for
No,
sure.
no, if you say 3, I believe it because I don't really
I'm just
follow the
going. See,
Bundesliga.
I'm not a Dortmund socio, so relax. Right. Let's move on. I don't want to fight this guy,
No,
Inter.
I am being complimentary. I'm trusting in you. I don't know
Right,
why you're
okay.
saying it's fighting.
Right, I don't know. But yeah, so should we move on to Inter Milan next, or should we go to the next Premier League side, Jacob? Huh? In
Let's
Arsenal.
let's go to Inter, I guess. That's the
Yeah,
Okay.
one.
yeah, that's what
You
Inter.
didn't add Arsenal, bro. You didn't add Arsenal, yeah?
He didn't think it was important enough.
Yeah.
Bro, top two sides every league. But yeah, whatever. Um, Inter Milan. So last year's finalists, right? Um, Lautaro was, I think, 85 last year. He got a +2. I think that's warranted. Captain has had a very good season.
Did his shooting improve from last year?
What is his shooting now?
It's
It's
86.
86. I think it was the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I don't recall really, but Barella got a +2, which is
Because
nice.
every time I've seen him, he's always missing shots. So
Okay. Right, right, yeah. I hate the man, I just hate his guts
now,
in general.
when he was still in Argentina, I mostly play offline, right? So I signed him
Hmm.
in like for my team. I was doing a Crystal Palace career mode, so I had
Crystal
signed him.
Palace.
Yeah, I had signed him, and that guy like he literally went to 90 for me for somehow. So
Oh,
Oh.
I have a soft spot for him, but in real life, probably he couldn't hit a barn door.
This was which year?
I think it was FIFA 18.
18.
Yeah,
Right.
it was much. I don't think he had moved to Inter then.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Right. A few increments here and there. Barella +2. Bastoni, I think. Bastoni, was he decreased? Çalhanoğlu +1.
I think
Sommer
Bastoni
got
was 83
disgraced.
before, right? Was it a +2?
I think he was 83. I can look it
83,
up.
yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
look it up.
You would just check Footbin.
Yeah,
You'll
I
see.
know, I know.
DeMarco 82. Was he 81 or was he 79? There's so many increments. Thuram was definitely lesser rated. He's 79 now. Um, Acerbi was always 83 for the fucking. I see his card every fucking day. You expect someone good and you get Acerbi. That's the meme.
I think he was Bastoni was 84.
84, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So +1. Um,
Let me just go
yeah,
through the interspace.
and Quadrado in an Inter kit. That's gonna take some while to
Hmm.
sink in because um, he was with Juve for so many years. One of their most iconic players. I can't believe he went to Inter. He should have moved out of the league or something. But I guess it's about family being settled in Italy and whatnot. Um, but yeah. So next up, Milan quickly. Oh, who was that? Was it Jacob?
Nah, man, no. I don't have bad reactions to AC Milan.
Okay, fair. Rafael Leao, biggest one of them. He was 84 last year. +2. I think that's warranted again. He has been pretty solid for Milan.
And how many cards do they release? Like I'm just looking at Milan's page on Footbin. And it's like there's so many types of cards, and I'm like I have to really go and look for all goals to get their base cards.
Yeah, you should use the filter
Yeah,
of just
that's what
goals.
I'm doing to look
Mm,
for the option. Filter option for
mm,
all goal. There are like
mm.
so many options.
I know
And
it's
these
like
guys,
all throughout a year, right? Like
yeah,
10 months or 11 months. So they need a promo every fucking 3 weeks, man.
they
So
need you to buy the packs. Huh?
yeah, 100%. I've
Invest in
never
those
spent a
FIFA
dime.
points.
Yeah, FIFA points, but yeah, the white kids, they are into this shit. It's only fair. They
You think brown kids
capitalize.
cannot spend?
I don't think so. Not much. No, not anyone that I
You
knew
don't think they can
personally.
spend? That was my question. Do you not think they can spend? It wasn't
They
ridiculous.
can spend, but would their parents allow them? That's the question, right?
Yeah, I think you are like a little bit out of touch now.
Probably.
Yeah,
28. I'm a bit old, but maybe the new generation is a bit more,
yeah.
freer with
We'll
this.
talk about it when you have a kid.
Okay, probably. But Giroud, did Giroud jump up? No, he stays the same.
He was
82
82.
again.
He was 82. Yeah.
82. Um, Pulisic went down a couple of ratings, right? Pulisic.
Really? A
Policy.
couple?
I'd have to look up for
Oh,
Chelsea. So,
No, he was
too much hard
81.
work.
oh wow.
81 or 82. So he got a decrement. I don't know why.
Because he moved to Serie A and because he's shit. So
But you saw that goal he scored on match day one. That was a fine finish, man.
yeah, that's because Serie A is shit too. So
Hey, relax. Okay, that's a good league. Good league. Far better than so many other leagues that's hyped up. Serie A is a good league. It's a good
No,
league.
I'm being serious. Like, if I am to take this like about Pulisic seriously, I think it's definitely because he wasn't getting much play time at Chelsea, and his performances weren't really up to the
Mm,
mark. So I guess the decrease is like understandable,
mm,
and also the fact that he's moving from Premier League, as we talked about, players over there are higher rated, and
mm.
in the Serie A, it's probably not that higher rating. So you also have to consider the fact that players in other leagues that their rating decreased pretty fast. When Eden Hazard was at Real Madrid, his ratings were decreased like pretty fast. But Jadon Sancho, I don't really think the decrements came that fast.
Mm. Because the money talks, man. Money talks.
Mm.
But you guys remember Hazard's first FIFA card with us?
89,
91.
91.
91.
It was
91.
89.
I was like, I knew from that moment on it's downhill. Because,
He was the cover athlete, right? That
yeah,
season.
FIFA 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, FIFA
FIFA
20.
20.
It's mad. It's man, Jacob is so quiet. Like, he has never played a game of FIFA in his life. He has
Come on,
nothing
man.
to say.
I have nothing to say, but then I was distracted by my dog, man.
Oh, okay. What's
Yeah,
his name again?
it's Fifi.
Fifi. Okay.
Yeah,
Does he
It's a
like playing
she.
FIFA?
yeah, it's a she.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I
So
I
call her
see you on the
Fifi.
pardon.
stories.
Yeah.
That's a bad joke, but anyway.
Yeah.
Milan stays the same. Calabria, I think, stays the same. I think Calabria was
I mean,
81 itself, I think. Right, Mo?
Calabria was 80.
Oh, he got a +1. Okay,
Yeah.
thank fuck for that. Okay, captain finally getting a +1. Tomori, after a very good 21
Tomorrow is
22,
84. Huh? Last year. How much is it this season?
84 again, stays the same.
Okay. He's
So after
probably
a
English. He has the English benefit.
no, 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 like he had a bad
No, I mean
uh,
he's performing well, but if it was a player who was not English, they would have rated him so high with the same performances.
probably because he had a bad 22-23 by his very good 21-22 standards. That's probably why. And likely what you said is true because if it was any other player with any other nationality, he would have had at least a -1 for his
Yeah.
last year.
And if he
Uh,
was still playing for Chelsea in the Premier League, he'd probably be 86. So.
yeah, that's a different story. We don't talk about shit like that. But Benacer got an 84. I think that's a +2. I think, right? Benacer was 82, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's 82.
So yeah,
I think
warranted.
he deserves a little bit more, probably 85 or something based on his
Mm.
performances.
He's really good. Benacer is
Yeah,
underrated.
definitely.
Very good player. Chukwueze, I think got a +2. I'm not sure. Not sure.
What's his rating right now?
He's 81.
Probably because he was playing for
Villarreal,
yeah. Yeah, he was 79 last season.
79, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so +2. Right. Moving on, Jacob. I need your thoughts.
well,
Barcelona,
fucking Barcelona,
Lewandowski,
yeah. Oh man.
90. After last year's Pichichi, right? He won the Pichichi, no?
He won the PGG.
Won the Pichichi, won the league first season.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he did drop off towards the end of last season, but I guess these EAFC guys, they just don't watch the games. They just look at stats to
Mm.
stats to give these ratings. So yeah, I mean, 90 is warranted, man.
Okay,
Take it.
Sunil, tell me how much of this is true. I think the way they do the ratings is the fact that they have some people go to games, they'll provide them with tickets, and they don't pay them anything. So basically, those guys will give them their input on ratings. Have
All
you
right.
guys heard about this?
No, no, no. I don't know how true
Okay,
that is, but
that is what I have
um,
heard. That's why I
So
just
are
wanted
these
to share it
actual
with
EA
you.
employees or just random guys they
No,
find on the
they're
street?
not EA employees. They have these. I think they supposedly call them partners or something like that. So these
Oh,
guys, all they get is like for their efforts, like tickets, I guess, and um, they get a free copy of the game.
that's not a bad
maybe
deal.
10 years ago, but now
Mm.
I think they have a pretty big system. At least the licenses and the partnerships they have with leagues enables them to do this on a much grander scale, I think. Not so
I mean,
off the
it's still,
mill.
from what I've heard, it's still people going to the games and giving them ratings. Apart from that, it's nothing else, nothing more.
Mm. Sure, there's a bit more thought into it. I wouldn't give them too much credit, but the amount of um, access they have these days, I think it's just spoon fed. They don't even have to even cook anything. It's just fed to them.
If you guys had any doubts, yes, definitely. Sonet is paid by EA.
I'm not paid by EA. No fucking way. You haven't seen me play a game, so you would know. But yeah, Ter Stegen +1. De Jong stays the same. I think De Jong warranted at least a +1. He had a very good
Uh,
season.
I think Frankie De Jong has always been rated a little too high. I think he'll probably like I prefer him to be around 86 or something.
Oh,
He's definitely a good player, but I think he's not that good.
mm,
I think
no bias there.
if he was in any other team apart from Barcelona, like he would be like their best player.
Probably, but he wouldn't be if he was at any other team other than Barcelona. He'd probably be rated 84 because I think Benacer is like okay, they're not exactly the same, and Frenkie de Jong is probably the better player, but Benacer is like sort of playing a similar role, distributor, and that guy is rated 84. Frenkie de Jong, his team didn't even make it past the group stage, and he's 86, so 87, sorry.
But the thing is, you have to also take into account that EA doesn't have a liking towards Barcelona because of their obvious relationship with Konami, and PES.
I think
Or
the thing, the fact is like, we talked about how they rate players. They aren't rating players based on who's sponsored by them and who's not.
no, there has
Maybe
always
the,
been
maybe there's a
always been
1 point difference about that, but beyond that, I don't really think it matters that much.
Arsenal and Barcelona. They always get shafted, man, for their deals with Konami. But
On the other hand, I would think that they Barcelona have always had an advantage in these ratings for some reason.
maybe when you were much more involved with the game and Messi was on the cover and whatnot. Nowadays, I don't think so, bro. But yeah, might be wrong. I don't know. We are not insiders, but I'm just going off by what I see.
I mean,
Right.
I
And if you
like,
had any doubts, I am definitely not paid by EA. So.
no man, like just judging from these ratings, like a team who couldn't win the Europa League, who just won La Liga, they 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 have such high ratings, man. Like I feel like their ratings are better than our squad right now. Yeah.
They won La Liga, man. It was kind of a very big deal like until they fucking dropped off the last 3 games, right? Like they
Yeah.
were on a very good
Sunil, you watch Barcelona play, right?
yeah.
They won La Liga barely by and like they literally crawled to the victory. They were
They
like
crawled in
winning.
the end,
They
but
were
the
winning
way
like
they
1-0s, 1-0s,
but the
1-0s,
shutouts,
1-0s.
man, even for the shutouts, it takes a
No,
bit of grit,
in
right?
I would understand if the defense was rated that high, but when their attack and players in the
Yeah.
offensive phases are rated that high, then you really start doubting.
Mm.
But
Araujo got a +2, +3, right? I think it was 83.
Rahul used to be 83, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a warranted boost.
Definitely. Rahul is somebody I rate very highly, even though he plays for
Pedri
Barcelona.
was 81. He got a +5 or something.
Pedri was 81. I think he was higher.
Just check, Mo, on Footbin. I
He's
think it was
83, right? Not sure.
83. I'm not sure. Because I
He was
never use
85.
these.
He was 85.
Oh, he's
Wow.
85. True.
Yeah.
He got a +1. Yeah.
Yeah, Pedri's always
Gundogan.
been higher rated. So,
Mm.
and on the flip side, I think Gundogan has always been lower rated by FIFA for some reason.
He
Because
should be
I don't think
what? 88.
86 does it justice to him, especially after his performances last season.
Oh yeah,
But
true.
even when you look at the broader trend of his rating, I remember it was around FIFA 20. He used to be rated 84, which I thought was pretty poor. And after last season, I would like to see him somewhere around 88 or something.
The thing is, man, like when they do these ratings, I think appearances also plays a big factor. Like if you're on the fringes for 90% of the season, you don't get
I mean,
much of a look
Gundogan
at.
is definitely not on the fringes for 90% of the season. He was the captain.
Not last season, but I'm talking about 3-4 years ago when on the City side he was in and out, in and out, in and out, right? Not being a constant mainstay.
Well, probably Big Steve can answer better. So.
Right. Cancelo. I don't remember what Cancelo's rating was, but if someone can look it up. But I used to have his inform card. He was a beast, really good card.
He was 86,
Cancelo.
I think.
Was 86?
No, he was 88.
He was 88. He got a -2 just for having a spat out with Pep. I think messing with the bald heads gets you in trouble.
But still, I think we
Because
also need to look at the ratings, right? The pace and stuff like that, because otherwise it's difficult to tell if the card is usable. Like Gundogan has got 86 rating, but he has 62 pace, and I think that's a pretty shit card.
Nobody's gonna use, like, people who are gonna listen to this. Hopefully, are the guys who actually play the game. They know Gundogan runs at walking pace. There's no fucking way. Even early game. I think early game, first month, these guys are usable, man. After the first month, no chance. Talking about Ultimate Team, yeah, but career mode and stuff, I think
No, even on career mode, you can't use these guys. They're like
no, yeah.
pretty slow. Yeah.
Mm,
before we go to the next player, I'd like to read out Ashik's comment. So he says, "This is a Real Madrid podcast. Barcelona shouldn't be a topic here unless we are playing them, or Negreira is the subject."
Hey,
just
did you guys talk about Negreira last week? I didn't hear it
We did not, man. We did not talk about it.
because I remember you were talking about making a reel and shorts about Negreira.
Yeah.
I told them it wasn't a good idea because
Uh,
it wasn't significant,
no,
right? Like,
I mean, I understand. It's like it's still a situation in flux. So
Yeah.
yeah, when something breaking happens, we'll be there.
no,
We'll be there.
I mean, when the day Jacob brought it up, there was something that broke. So
Yeah. But it wasn't that massive again.
No,
No.
it wasn't
defined
massive
massive.
at all. It was just the judge ruling that
It
there
wasn't
is an
even.
action.
I don't think he was ruling it. It was more of a findings report.
Yeah. So he basically said there is something to look into here, and he was like validating all of the evidence that was presented.
Telling you again, nothing's gonna happen to Barcelona. Nothing. Nobody's gonna touch them.
I think they're gonna get some
I
fines
don't.
at least, man.
Everybody knows nothing is gonna happen, but it's still, it gives you a point when this game goes against.
Yeah, kick them when they're down. Always a good idea.
Like, let's start winning leagues, winning Champions Leagues again, and then
Hmm.
now I just don't have the fire in
No, the
me
thing is,
to
like, the debate around the fact happens because they want to create pressure. All right, that's simple.
yeah
Simple as
yeah.
that. Most of this debate is not happening in the international media. Where it's happening is in the Spanish media,
Mm,
and the ones who are pressing this right, like, pretty hard is like the ones towards the right wing of Spanish media, because that's where Real Madrid support mostly comes from.
yeah, capitalists,
Yeah.
100%. Right. Kunde, I think, got a +1. Decent.
I mean, do we really need to go into details about all these teams? Just in a quick overview is pretty okay, I guess. Well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna we're just brushing through them, right? Like, we're not
every
discussing
player.
it. Right, my bad. It was fucking Barcelona though, man. Like, just relax, yeah. Like, it's our main rival, no? Christensen, I think +1. Gavi, I think +2 or something. Ferran Torres stays the same. Balde,
Man,
I
why
think.
did you skip over Rafinha? Do you actually think he's 84 rated? I don't think so.
Um, well,
I just like to remind you something. Sunaya said a while back, because Barcelona with Konami, they're penalized in the FIFA ratings. As in Rafinha is 84.
I really can't answer that now because looking at Rafinha, whenever I think he's shit, man, he scores a goal like yesterday. Did you see the goal he scored against Bolivia? It was a fine finish. I don't understand the man. He can be quite good on some days, pretty shit on other days. Very
I
on and
mean,
off player.
if somebody is scoring long range bangers, does not mean that they are, like, high
He didn't
rated.
score a long range banger yesterday,
I mean, most of his brilliant goals are that way. Just making a generalization.
but whenever I see him and hope for him to have a shit game, he's doing bits, man. I don't know why. Maybe I should just
You should stop
hope
thinking
for.
about it.
Yeah, I should, probably anticipate that he's gonna have a bad game, and then maybe he's gonna have a bad game. I mean, have a good game. Sorry,
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, moving
Hope
on.
for
Let's
the
move on to Atleti.
right
Yeah,
Atleti.
man. Okay, we're not talking about Ansu Fati, 78.
Ansu Fati moved on to Brighton. I don't know why he is here. He's
Yeah,
here, yeah.
Yeah,
he's
he
here.
moved on
Oh,
to Brighton.
right. I think this came out before his move to Brighton. But yeah, man, Oblak was always 91 in my memory. It's shocking to see him at 88, but I think it's warranted. He has had a dip kind of in the last couple of years. Griezmann, big, massive boost. I think +5 for
What?
Griezmann.
I don't know if it's a +5. Let me just double check, but I think an upgrade is deserved,
Yeah.
He was
especially
83.
yeah.
83,
I
yeah.
think it was.
How did he
Yeah,
dip
he
so
was
much,
80.
man? He was always
Yeah, he
pretty
had
good.
a couple of anonymous seasons, especially
Yeah.
his after his move from Barcelona. Even in his last year with Barcelona, he was
I mean,
kind of.
his move was Barcelona was a big flop, and I
Mm.
guess that really affected his rating. But now, after that brilliant season he had, the rating was bound to come back up.
88 is pretty high, but you look at the pace. 80 rated for a striker, like, but he's going to be very. Griezmann is a rat. We call him a rat, because it's so hard to get the ball off him. He's so jammy, as a player.
His
He has
dribbling is
the
good. His dribbling is good. So probably
yeah
ball control stat is pretty good.
yeah. He's short. He's agile. So it's a pain facing him, Griezmann, especially early game as well. Um, DePaul 84. I think he stays the same from last year. Lorente was 86 if I'm not mistaken. He got a
Yeah,
-2.
I'm not. I think Marcos Llorente used to be 86 in FIFA 22. I'm not sure about 23,
Mm.
but yeah, I think his card could have been pretty good. He has 78 shooting, 710 passing, 79 dribbling, 78 defense.
Still good pace. 89 pace for a CM is like bonkers.
Yeah,
It's
he,
too
he
OP.
he actually used to be a winger in the academy when he was coming up,
Mm.
but then he got turned into a CDM.
CDM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morata is still here, still going strong. I think he got a boost as well. I don't know why, but 83 for Morata. Uh, it's funny. Korea, on the other hand, got a -1, I think. It was 83. Yeah, that's pretty much it with significant stuff for Atleti, I think. Koke, Depay, insignificant. Jimenez barely even plays. Soyuncu, my Atleti mate was telling me Soyuncu is going to be the next goatee. And I was like, man, you
But he
got
played
to.
well for Atleti ever since he's come on. That's the thing.
Really? I haven't
Yeah,
seen much of him, but
yeah, that's why he's played well for Atleti. Even the Leicester fans were cursing Brendan Rodgers for not actually giving him much playtime.
Soyuncu, whenever I've seen him, he has been shit, man. I don't know why.
No, he's not been shit. He has those brain farts.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's equivalent to shit. That's not equivalent to
So the
him
thing is,
being
like, he has quality, but he had those crazy moments. But with Simeone, he has this ability to iron out kings in people's games. So I think that's why he's
gold.
probably going to be better under him.
Right. Anyone else that stands out? Jacob? Anyone to mention in Atleti?
No, man, it's just the downfall of Saul as well, like usual. But it's not a new story. We've seen it in the last
Jacob,
years.
if you were playing offline, would you sign any of these players? Like,
I think Llorente is definitely one to like sign as a super
yeah,
sub. Yeah.
the super sub, you probably start.
No, man, I'm always like playing Real Madrid or like God forbid Barcelona, but yeah,
You play as Barcelona.
sometimes, yeah.
Man, you shouldn't have said that, but
This is one of those moments. Remember, so those legendary moments, like Farouk's.
Farouk's. Oh my God, I wear a PSG shirt at home or something. My God, that guy. Fuck. Anyway, the less said about that day, the better. But Napoli ratings. Well, this is interesting, man. Osimhen was 83, if I'm not mistaken. More just double check for me.
Okay.
+5 for him. Isn't it a bit much
I
for
think it is.
us
I think it definitely is. Yeah, he was
for
83.
for a single season? Remember how long it took for Vinicius to get to 89 or
Yeah.
even 86 last season?
Yeah, 88 is like a little bit too high.
I mean,
Are
I,
we
I
if you
don't.
look at it
completely
one way, like,
confident of these ratings? Like
Yeah,
completely confident?
these are
Oh,
official.
okay.
I mean, these guys, I mean, Osimhen is like definitely better than Lautaro, man. Then, like, why not? Why not?
I mean, but Lautaro has a track record. Osimhen, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to say anything because Farouk might send his, goons after him.
Entourage, right? They might turn up in black suits and yeah, Mo would vanish forever. But yeah, man, Osimhen, I don't get the hype. Even Kvaratskhelia, he had one good season, right? He has
Yeah.
86. He went from 74, a silver rated card,
So,
to 86, man. Maybe I think maybe it's something to do
One
with the
season is
accomplishment.
one season is too much, and I think probably FIFA get a lot of. Uh, they want to maximize their sales in Georgia.
Maximize their whole Serie A thing because they have Serie A as a license, but you know how Serie A does it, right? their teams does individual licenses. Like Napoli, if you look at the logo,
I
that's
think
not a Napoli logo. You know.
every team, like every league does this, but for Premier League they have all the teams signed in. For La Liga they don't have Barcelona, I think. And obviously for Serie A, a lot of teams are missing. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. But
So
yeah, man, I definitely agree. Kvaratskhelia, 86, too much from
plus
75.
12.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a card get plus 12 in a year, ever in my lifetime. You know, and
I
I've
mean,
been playing since.
if you play career mode, you can always get your youth academy players to jump 12 in one
In a
season.
year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guess
So
I haven't played it in a long while. Maybe
yeah,
this year.
now actually they allow you to change positions of players. So sometimes what happens, like there will be a left back who's
Hmm.
actually a better as a left winger or some other random position, and they'll have
Oh,
those jumps. I remember I had the region of Perisic, right? So
okay.
he's a left wing back in game, but his
Right.
offensive stats are pretty brilliant. So he was like in mid 70s in the left wing position, but left wing back position, but as
Hmm.
a right winger or left winger, he's around 90. So
Tactical tweak. This
yeah,
man is a
tactical
genius right
tweaks.
here.
When you play career mode, you have to be that.
100%. 100%.
And this season, we're gonna get to watch people's managers' butts.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, there's gonna be a different angle. 100%, man.
No, there is
Like,
no different angle. I'm telling you, 100%. People who have played the game have told me.
really? Who
Yeah,
played the game?
there are a lot of people who got access to FIFA beta and stuff. So
Right.
yeah,
So
this is the same. That's the only
only
angle.
one angle, yeah.
Yeah, spectator mode. If you want to watch from the sideline, you only get to watch the managers behind.
That's mad, man. There should be. I hope they fix it because I'm not gonna play it. I don't give a fuck. But um, I hope for
What's
the
mad
people
is
who play
like
it.
this feature was demanded by a lot of people. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me, but a
Mm.
lot of people demanded this feature, and this is how it turns out.
Even I was excited when I first heard about it. Like the emotion, I think is a bit more
Yeah,
profound.
imagine it
I
with
play
VR
FIFA to play
glasses.
FIFA, right? I don't want to sit on the sidelines and watch somebody like AI play the game. So
Different boats, different floats, man. Like you can't expect everyone to think like you do. But Jacob makes a very good point. Like if it's in VR, why not, right? But VR, I don't think is a
Jacob has
polished
a very high
technology.
opinion of EA.
100%. He hasn't done business with them much.
Yeah, man. Like just imagine like
Naivety.
in VR you're able to like go inside like the dressing room, look at stuff around, and like,
You,
you even have the women's
this,
game.
when you hear
Ah, women's game.
when you hear statements like these, you know this guy doesn't play FIFA.
Yeah, he's a novice. He's a novice. Like most of you all are novices, But Mo, this year crossplay is a real thing. We can play whenever we want, any game mode. So I'm gonna
Uh,
ring you up. Okay, so
I'm
better pick up the
I'm
phone.
good. I'm good. I'm gonna enjoy my youth academy players. 54 rated.
Okay, fair. These guys, man. Honestly, like I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm getting old. But yeah, who else stands out with Napoli? Zambo Ingisa got a +2. He's a good player. Right now, Lindstrom, 79. That's too low, man. Very good player, Lindstrom.
79,
Recently made the move.
77.
Yeah.
He said 79, I think. Oh,
Last year, right?
I don't know. I think it was the same.
Oh, it was the same? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. He was a very good player, but
He was at Frankfurt, right?
yeah, I think Frankfurt. But yeah, 77 a bit too low. But yeah, nobody else stands out. Zelensky, same. Right, moving on to Etihad.
Yeah.
Benzema.
This is where it is at, This is the team we should be talking about. Etihad.
Etihad from Jeddah. It's
I, I
crazy, man.
I don't understand why Jota is there because they're probably going to release him.
Yeah, this was made like 2 weeks ago, bro. It's like,
Just being funny. Yeah,
um,
Benzema, I think, yeah, definitely, decent rating, but
mhm.
that pace is pretty bad. But I think somehow Benzema's card is still usable in games sometimes.
It's very good. It's very good for a
Yeah.
tall guy. Super nifty. Benzema's very slick, especially in dribbling. Has that jam in him. 100%. But yeah, man, only -1. Despite moving to the Saudi Premier League, uh,
I think
missing.
his stats were pretty good last season when you look at it that way.
Yeah,
And he scored like 25% of Real Madrid's goals despite missing a large part of the season due to injury. So I guess that's why.
just a -1 in pace. He had 80 pace, if I think, last season. I think same shots. Dribbling, I think he got a -1 or something, if I'm not mistaken. But
If he was at Barcelona, he would still be the same 91.
it is how it works, man. Kante 86. I don't think I've ever seen Kante below 87. It's mad.
Yeah,
But
Conte is good, but he's been injured. And then you look at the pace, and I think that's is like in the midfield, that pace is unusable, in my opinion.
mm, mm, but
Fabinho
yeah,
again, pretty bad
yeah,
speed.
59. That's like borderline, you know.
Do you guys?
He'll be walking.
Yeah, do you guys see this card, Igor Coronado? Coronado. That card is pretty decent, actually.
Cam,
I've
yeah.
seen him around.
Yeah, that card is pretty decent, I think. He's 81 pace and 83 dribbling.
Hmm.
He's actually in this season he has been I think he's created the most chances.
Oh,
Him, Mahrez, and Medran. Those three
right.
guys. Yeah, 60.
Which Medran? The
He's
Medran.
Real Madrid, yeah.
Oh, he plays for which club?
Al Tawun, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, see. I know
Bro, do
what
you
they
have a
do.
subscription to watch them? Where do you watch them?
These guys?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think currently Saudi Pro League in US is on Fox Sports. So
Do you have a subscription?
no, I don't watch the games, man.
Oh, you don't watch the games. Okay,
No.
okay. We need to find a way to. I need to find the site. I think I have a site, but I don't take the effort enough to sit
It's
around.
definitely there if you try. It's there. If you
Yeah,
try.
yeah. But I hope the English commentary comes in as well at
Yeah,
some point.
Fox Sports has English commentary because
Oh,
I remember I was watching the game where Benzema got injured, the one before Al Hilal.
right.
Yeah, I think that game was on Fox Sports and they had English commentary. So
Oh, okay. Nice, but yeah, new era, man, new era. So next slide, next slide. This is the big one,
Mm-hmm.
big one. I can't stress this enough, right?
oh,
The
Cristiano
f
being 86.
the first time I see Cristiano on FIFA, I remember he was 87, right?
Okay.
And he was 23, 22 something, right? And he was 87. To see him fall all the way back to 86 after 16, 17 years, man, this is a big moment, in my FIFA career for
Journey.
me. Yeah,
Oh.
journey, whatever you can say, because I've never had the luxury to use Cristiano much until the last couple of seasons, where he actually became affordable a bit.
Mhm.
Until then, he was only for the mega gods,
The
it's
streamers.
streamers and all that shit. Like if you get super lucky, you would land Cristiano, but um, yeah, man, 86 is hard to take, honestly. Very hard to take.
Jacob, if you're probably thinking why it's a little difficult, I guess a couple of years back they used to have this thing called pack luck, right? Every pack had this percentage of drawing a very rare card like Cristiano or something. And what they used to do is like you could open 10 cards, but the luck would stay the same. So then they had a court case and everything, and now I think that they've changed that. So if you
Oh,
open 10 cards,
Really?
the probability goes on increasing. Yeah.
Now
right.
the cards are much more attainable. Maybe what you're saying is the
Yeah.
reason why.
They had a court case over it. Somebody sued FIFA, so FIFA had to change it.
Can't believe people sue FIFA for this, man. What? Oh, I mean,
I
especially
I think
if there's real
in
money
Belgium,
involved. Yeah.
in Belgium and stuff like this,
They banned it.
yeah, they
They
banned it
banned packs. They banned
because
packs,
of
basically.
gambling.
So those guys can't play foot, Belgium people.
I think they can't open packs.
They
Oh,
can't buy packs.
They
They
can't
can't
buy.
buy packs from the store. They still have packs which the game gives out, right?
Mhm.
But they can't buy more packs from the store like the rest
Okay.
of the world does.
Okay.
But yeah, man, Cristiano, it's a big.
When Sunaid has a kid, he'll be doing the same thing. FIFA is gambling.
Let's stop talking about my kids, okay? They are still unborn, okay? They might be listening in, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Mane, 86. He was 88, I think, last season.
I mean,
-2.
yeah, he had a pretty bad season, so it's okay.
Yeah. Big
Maybe
fall
his
off.
physical should have been improved, nah?
74, I think it's pretty decent, man.
Yeah, but they should have improved it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
After
Oh,
all of
now I
that.
get it. Now I get it. So +5 for the punch, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Right. Laporte is an Al Nasser, man. Fofana, Brozovic, Talisca has always been pretty decent.
I think he left.
Uh,
Talisca left Al Nassr. No, did
really?
he
Where
leave?
did he go?
Didn't he leave? Didn't they have like a situation with too many international players or something? Or was it like I know somebody went to Sharjah. I don't know if it's Talisca or somebody else.
Oh, I think it's Talisca, I think it's
Oh,
Talisca.
oh, I'll have to double check.
Fuck,
Wait, so
that's
now
huge.
Sharjah has a good league?
Now, man, anybody these Saudi players cannot sell, they send them to Qatar or
So,
UAE.
Yeah, Qatar or UAE. Basically, they are the okay, let's put it this way. They are the Scottish Premier League to,
So
Saudi's
these Premier
English
League.
Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
That's the right way to put it, no?
yeah, a very apt comparison.
Yeah. So there you go. Al Duhail or something, no? Coutinho went yesterday or
Yeah,
something, right?
I think he's
But,
trying to go there.
oh, wow.
Where is Verratti trying to go? Al Arabi or what?
Somewhere in Qatar, I forgot the
Yeah,
club.
okay.
But he has
What
been
the
left
hell?
out of the Champions League squad or something, no?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. They
Fucking
don't give a
Verratti
fuck about
going to
Verratti.
Sharjah. Yeah, well, why is nobody snapping him up, especially in the Saudi league?
I think they cannot pay what PSG want, and because I think Al Hilal or somebody from the Saudi league went in for him. They offered like 40 million, and PSG said no. They wanted like 80 million or something. Nobody's gonna pay that. Uh, that's the reason. I was actually reading some of these PSG people on Twitter, and I think they were
Uh-huh.
saying that Verratti wanted to play one final game before leaving PSG, and they denied him that opportunity. They said no, nothing doing, just get out.
Wow.
How old is Verratti though? 33?
No, I think he's younger. He's probably around 30.
I used to love him, man. Especially
He's still a
since
very
I
good
have
player.
the
It's still very, very good.
I can't believe it, but yeah, that's what it is. Right. Al Nasser ratings
Yeah, he's 30. He's still 30.
30, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let's do the big
here we
ones.
are.
Let's do the big ones, the main ones, the ones
For
everybody is waiting for.
Yep.
it's our club. Basically, we should I think go through everyone that Jacob has painstakingly prepared. It's just I think
Yeah.
13 players or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the entire
Kudos to Jacob for making this PPT, right? It took a lot of time and effort.
100%. For once, he put in some effort, So big up, Jacob. I'm joking. The Thibaut man stays the same. Shouldn't he
Yeah.
be? Shouldn't he be +1? He
I
built
think
upon
No, man.
the
Last
think
season,
champions.
no.
No?
I think FIFA overall they kind of like decrease the ratings. So because even the highest card is like 91 now. So I guess it's fine. 90 is pretty good, especially for a goalkeeper. I think it's probably the highest rated goalkeeper in the game, right?
Yeah, Neuer is 87.
Yeah,
Ederson.
Ter Stegen is 89, and I think that Oblak is 88. So probably Courtois is
Yeah,
90.
Ter Stegen should have been 90 as well for last season. No,
Yeah,
like he was
yeah,
mad. He was mad.
yeah. I didn't want to say that because it's a Real Madrid podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, true. But I'm just giving Ter Stegen. I hate the man, but last season he was pretty
Yeah.
incredible.
We call him Hair Stegen, ne? Hair Stegen. He's not Ter Stegen, no. He's Hair Stegen, no.
The resurgence is crazy after the visit to Turkey and visit to Thailand. It changes people.
Visit to Farouk.
Oh, visit to Farouk. Man, you see, he lives in Turkey and he has a bad hairline, no? Farouk for his glorious face, no? Don't you think?
Maybe that's my choice. You don't know.
Right. Okay. Farouk, I hope you don't trash me when we,
Bro, he's gonna
link
bring out
up
the
later.
bazookas against us next day. No
Man,
way.
I didn't know until lately, that I think until last year I didn't know that he was 6'3" or something. I was like, "What? You're 6'3"?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm 6'3". I was like, "Bro, like I would have to, fucking get a stool to, slap you." But that's insane, man. How tall are you, man, Mo?
No, I'm not that tall. I'm the same height as you.
Oh, 5'8". Okay.
Yeah.
What about Jacob?
5'9" or something.
So we are all the same.
I used to think Jacob is like 6 foot or something, 6'2" or something.
He looks tall, no?
Yeah.
Just a beard playing with. I mean, Kota does have a beard. Like, that's the only difference I see in this card.
Yeah, a goatee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
I think the previous one, the other picture, they don't change card faces often, especially for people like Thibaut,
They're probably
goalkeepers.
doing first scans this season for EAFC. and with new
Yeah,
gear and everything.
fresh scans. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
And I
And
think his
new
diving stats improved and stuff. Some of the stuff is changed. Kicking.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Even
okay.
reflexes have gone up. So
Oh, 93 to oh
yeah.
plus three. Okay,
Yeah.
he's already fucking a pain to play against because he
Yeah.
covers the whole goal and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
He's gonna be good in game.
yeah, 100%. He's OP. He's too
Yeah.
OP. Right, Alaba, man, I don't understand this. -1 for what? For what?
For
He
playing
was
for Real
injured.
Madrid,
I
obviously.
mean, he was injured also a lot more last season.
I
But I
don't
think
get it.
overall his card is decent. Yeah.
Alaba's cards are always decent, but
Yeah.
-1, not a fan. Not a fan. Did he get a decrease in pace? No, right? Okay.
No decrease in
No.
pace. I think the decrease is mainly in dribbling, and yeah, that's where the decrease is.
Okay. Not bad, not bad. Rudiger -2. Why? Why did he get to a 87 last season for one? Okay,
Uh,
and then
because he came from
get
the Premier League, big signing.
Yeah.
Now he
these
can get to
guys,
play.
man.
He didn't get to play Real Madrid, so the decrease was like expected. But
85.
I think when the winter refresh comes, he's probably gonna go up again because he's gonna play a lot of games.
That's no more a thing, man. It
No
stopped,
more
I think,
winter
too.
refresh. Wow. Okay.
It didn't happen for like 2 years now, I think. Used to be a thing back in the day. Used to be
Oh,
nice as well. I used to look
yeah.
forward to it. Um,
Maybe they're bringing it back. EAFC new feature. Let's get back
Probably.
to the old feature.
There is a claim all button now. Do you know that they're advertising that as a feature? That's how low they are. That's how fucking low they are.
I
But
mean, it's
it's
always been there, modus operandi.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be saying yeah because you work for them. So moving on
I
from
don't work with
Militao.
them. Right, +2. Wa- +2 and a -1 in pace.
Yeah,
Make that make sense.
I think it's probably the stats. If you go deeper into it,
Probably, but even then, man.
even his dribbling is down. Defense,
-2
yeah, yeah.
dribbling,
Defense went up, so probably that.
defense went up,
I feel
but
like
still,
his physique improved last season. Like he wasn't getting bullied as much as a year before. But
I mean, I've never seen Militao get bullied, to be honest.
very rare. Yeah, very
he
rare.
does lose balance. Like I remember that happening in the Champions League winning season in La Liga. But
For me, it's always
Mm.
been his concentration.
yeah.
He has those moments.
He gets attracted to the ball sometimes for no
Yeah,
reason. He just wanders off. But yeah. Next up, Tony Cruz.
man, this guy is
Eight.
unusable.
He was always unusable, but I still loved using Tony Cruz even though he was slow. Because you know what, bro? I don't know if you dive into the specifics. Cruz cards always has a 5-5 5-star skill moves,
5 week,
5-star weak foot.
yeah.
Yeah, which
For me,
makes
I'll be honest with
super
you. Like,
lethal. Mm,
I never because I don't really play foot much. But
mm,
whenever I use Cruz, I used him in the offline play. So whenever I use him, I don't actually use him as a CM. I prefer using him as a CDM because he has that ability to control games from the deep in game.
mm,
So I
mm.
guess that works out.
And you
Don't
were
blame me
blaming
like
That's
and you were
Ancelotti.
blaming Ancelotti for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't blame me like Ancelotti.
Oh,
more. The reason is because the weak foot helps on
Yeah,
either
no,
foot. Like,
the fact of the matter is like I think in FIFA when you're playing the game from central mid positions you need players who can go up and down. Box
yeah.
to box midfielders suit much better. And at CDM, it's like yeah, Casemiro is good. He can go and tackle everybody, but when you have somebody who can distribute from the deep, it's like it's pretty well. Yeah. It's a huge advantage.
yeah. But a -2 for Cruz, I didn't see coming.
Man,
Honestly.
in any case, even last year, like he's probably the best passer the world has seen in the last decade, right? Why is he still
Mm.
90? Like he deserves a 95 or something.
I mean, I think these stats are a composite of long passing, short passing, and all those things. So they probably
His
don't
long
think.
passing would be around 95, 94 something. Would
Yeah,
be pretty
Right.
high.
Right.
it
Pretty
depends
high.
on his vision and everything because like I think he doesn't really get as many assists, so probably they use that to penalize him.
Uh,
But still, yeah, -2, not a fan. Right, moving on to Modric, -1. Warranted?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't think Cruz should have gone to 86 either. I think probably stayed there. But if it were up to me, both of them would be 95. You know.
95.
But from a neutral perspective, even, right, like they had pretty good seasons by their standards, like even though we didn't win any major honors apart from
Yeah.
the Copa del Rey, we still went deep into the Champions League.
I mean, you also have
Uh,
to consider the fact that we played Liverpool and Chelsea in the Champions League, so they were pretty shit teams.
Man, but then like Modric,
True.
he went to the Nations League final. He got to the semi-finals in the World Cup.
Yeah, semi-finals of the World
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a valid point, Jacob. That's
Yeah.
a pretty valid point.
That's why like I feel like Kroos had a better season for Real Madrid, but then overall I feel like Modric had a better season. So -1,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, probably I do agree with you guys. Probably should have stayed at 88. But
Right.
I think the general trend has been towards capping rating, so probably that's why they increased it.
Yeah. In general, they have kind of brought it down a bit to sell more packs. Obviously, there's no other good motive, just to earn more money. But
This gladdens my heart so much. Sunil is coming to the good side.
bro, it's hey, you guys think of me as someone who spends money on these packs, and like, bro, I just missed the game.
We don't think that. We know that.
Okay,
Yeah,
fuck off.
Okay, so
Right.
let me get this straight. What does the ultimate pack give you? Like the ultimate edition, what does that give you?
The
So
satisfaction of having spent money.
no. It's basically nothing, man. You get to play 5 days earlier, which is, I think, a huge
Early
deal for me.
access. Yeah.
Early access, then you get a couple additional packs. Obviously, lottery packs. Like, remember I sent you didn't add it to the thing. We could have discussed some of the new heroes like Ramirez and stuff. The new hero cards, basically. So you get to get one of them.
Mm.
Like McManaman is there, I think Viali, Snyder,
It's a
the
loan
new
one, right?
guys.
It's a loan.
No.
It's untradeable.
Untradable permanent card, yeah, not loan.
Okay. I think
You get one
previously
of those.
we used to get like on loan one or something.
We get loan shit as well now. Even in the pre-order bonuses, I think there is a loan card between like EAFC ambassadors or something. One of 3 might be Son, Haaland, stuff like that, guys like that. But yeah, Jacob, can you bring up that single image after we discuss this? Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah, sure.
You remember, right? The heroes one I sent you with the legends.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say over here that you get one of those.
We do. Where are you checking?
On EA's website.
Pre-order bonuses. Read it out to me.
Base game, dual entitlement, ultimate team cover star loan, 2 ambassador loan players.
Oh, it's over, by the way. Sorry, it's over, by the way. Maybe that's
over?
why they don't advertise it anymore. It ended August 22nd, so
Okay.
probably
Maybe.
that's why. That's why.
Because it still says pre-order EA Sports bonus for Xbox. You buy for PlayStation, right?
Yeah. Pre-order the Ultimate Edition to get certain shit was.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
I don't think that applies anymore because we are like less than 2 weeks from release.
But
I'll send you the pictures.
I have the heroes image on the screen.
Should we jump onto that quickly and look at it and then come back to this, or finish this off and just run through that? Anyway.
Let's just finish this stuff.
Right, Kamavinga, 79 to 82. Good enough?
Yeah, I mean, if you had played more midfield, probably get a bigger bonus, but he played left back, so, Yeah. But his card still looks decent, 79 pace, 80 passing, 82 dribbling, 76 defending, 80 physical.
Has finally fucking got a new face scan. Thank fuck for that. He finally has his OG hair, I mean, not OG hair, his actual hair.
Yeah.
Until now, it was his hair from fucking Rennes, was shit. So, yeah, I'm glad. Kamavinga was a player that
I hope Tchouameni gets a new face scan because it was horrendous playing with him.
He has a new face scan.
Yeah, I don't know who that dude was.
The other dude? Yeah, I remember. Like they make such, for me, bro. Like that's also something. Like my mates always mocks me for this. So I need to have my guys having proper kit numbers. That's also one thing. My
Yeah,
friends, they don't do it.
definitely.
Yeah,
For me also.
yeah, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Then if they don't have real face
Face.
scans,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker for
For
me.
me, if it's a real player, I want a real face scan. Otherwise, it looks like weird.
Yeah, career mode you can understand, right? When
I
it's
mean,
basically.
even in the career mode, when you're playing, a lot of people have the preference. If you're playing with a real player, they'll prefer the player with the face scan.
No, but it's if it's a youth region, blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah, then you can't do
yeah,
anything. So.
yeah, that's
That's their
understandable,
real
bro.
face. Come on, they were born that way. You can't do anything.
Yeah, true. Okay. Oof, right. Right. Chouameni, 82 to 84 plus two.
Yeah, it's decent, I think. Especially the way we were talking about him at the start. Some of the people, not us. Like, people talking about how he was not that good and stuff like that. So
Who,
I
who,
guess
who, who?
I mean I said not us, other people.
Okay, okay, okay. Other people, right?
Yeah.
Who was the other people anyway? But okay.
I mean, why were we even having this discussion of Tchouameni Resurgence? It's because
Right.
people like Antoine
Oh,
saw
okay,
this.
okay. In general,
Yeah,
fair, fair, fair. Right. Okay, plus two is not bad, not bad.
yeah. Freddy got a big
What,
upgrade for.
bro? Wait, Chouameni got a -3 on physical. Why?
I don't know.
These guys are insane,
If
man.
only he
Mine,
looks stronger, man, from last season.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's probably stronger now. They thought that last season he wasn't as strong as the season before when he was at Monaco. So
I don't know, doesn't make sense. But Fede,
this
that's
is
the
the card
card.
that this is the card you want in the game.
88 pace, 82 shot, 84 passing, 83 dribbling, 80 defense. Man, bro. Okay, so people who don't know, um, cards with these kind of ratings with every base stat 80 plus used to be called the Gullet Gang cards, basically. Hullet, basically all-rounded, well-rounded guys who are unplayable. They used to be a thing, I think, up until like 2 years ago. I think Valverde belongs in that category, man, where it's gonna be nigh impossible to get him. It's gonna be super expensive. I don't know how I'm gonna have a Valverde card. I remember his player of the month from September last season was so expensive that I had to sell my whole fucking team to just get him in the team. You know, it's gonna be something similar
The
this
only
year.
the only time I've done something like that was way back in FIFA 18.
Hmm.
I invested in a Frank Cassier. He had that one of those cards. They used to have those cards. Whenever somebody gets a player of the month, that card's ratings will also increase. So
Yeah, wants to watch or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, no?
So I invested everything that I had in that Cassier one to watch card,
And he
and
didn't get anything.
he didn't
It's
get
rigged, bro.
anything.
It's
He didn't
rigged.
get
It's rigged.
anything. I used to pray, I used to watch every Milan game, hoping that this guy will be man of the match, and he'll get something.
Same thing happened with Haaland last year. Like, even though man fucking scores hat tricks week in week out, they don't give him a team of the week for this sole reason, because he had a wants to watch card and doesn't it? They don't want to,
Yeah,
um,
I understand.
yeah, make players enjoy what they have, man. They need motivation to spend more money. But yeah, Jacob, Valverde's card pretty decent, yeah.
Also, man, yeah, looks good. Really hope I can get to play the game. I'm not gonna like pre-order it, but I'm gonna buy it
How
eventually.
how is Fede higher rated than Kroos and Modric? This was my
I
first
think
question.
I think 84 to begin with. His like it was way too low for him, especially like yeah,
So the
don't
way
have
I would
past
look at it is the
performances.
way that he was like he had a better offensive output last season. So simple as that.
Mm,
Oh,
that warrants a +4.
so that
Definitely.
means like they just look at the number of goals scored and then fuck yeah, you get 8 + 4.
Offensive players are always, the thing is like if you overpower defensive players and midfielders, what you're gonna do is like you're not gonna nerf the offensive side of the game because those guys are gonna be so good. So what EA does is it nerfs defenders. That's why you never see defenders having a high pace and everything. And that is why stats like cards like Militao are like overpowered.
Right. So that applies to Kamavinga and okay, so Hassan was saying earlier that Oompa Loompa with anger management issues is higher rated than Kamavinga, and it's a disgrace.
Who is that? Gavi?
Golden
Gavi, yeah.
Gavi. That's where we were talking about this, right? Gavi.
When?
When we're discussing the cards.
Back in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand it, man. Honestly,
So,
probably
I mean, I
the
think Gavi had better offensive stats last season compared to Kamavinga. Maybe that's why.
and also they won the league.
Yeah.
It is a factor. It
I
is a
think Gavi
factor.
also won the Golden Ball, so Golden Boy award.
Oh,
Yeah.
true, 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 true. Hype, hype, hype. Right.
I think there's also if I put my tinfoil hat on, Sunil is not gonna like this, but the fact of the matter is like they need Barcelona fans to buy the game as well. So
100%, 100%.
they have to give them they have to throw them a bone.
La Liga's two big boys, man. They have to show some love, 100%. It's what sells the copies. But yeah, man, Vinicius 86 to 89.
I wanted him
I
to at
was
least go 90 or 91, 90 probably if it's not at the level of Mbappe or Haaland, but 90 at least.
That's how the game has gone. Like I still remember in FIFA 7, Cristiano was 80, 89 or something, and he was three times the player Vinicius was. At
I
this
mean, you
point,
can't
and
really compare to that, because now maximum stat ratings go to 94. If you can expect that.
mm,
So
it doesn't go to 94. No, no, no way in hell. But
now
yeah,
Cristiano a couple of years back used to be 94. Cristiano and
but
Messi.
now it wasn't a couple of years. Good 5 years, bro. It's been a long
Nah,
time.
like I think till like around
FIFA
18,
18 or
19,
something.
19. I think Messi was 94.
Probably. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But not Cristiano.
I
Cristiano
mean,
was.
the 89 back then we used to be pretty high because not a lot of players would reach there. But now, like almost everybody is. Even Salah used to be 89 a couple of years back.
True. That makes sense. Salah is 89 now.
Yeah,
I think
Salah is
from
89
90.
even now. So
Yeah. I guess in a way that makes sense, but yeah, you would like you would have liked him to have 90. Yeah,
yeah,
makes
90.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. 95 pace, 82 shot. Man, this guy is a menace. He's a menace to play against. Too good. Nobody really can afford him, especially early game, unless you pack him and get lucky and shit. His promo cards are out of reach. I haven't seen a promo card of Vinny in my lifetime. He is that rare. Only the most luckiest or the people with huge wallets actually, get to play with him. But I've always had his gold cards, which is filthy enough. Can fucking rinse through anybody. Mo, you will know firsthand, if we ever, lock horns, on the virtual playground. And also you, Jacob, you'll know,
Yeah,
right?
maybe
I'll
by
just
like
keep
next August or something, I'll be able to buy the game and
next August.
Sunil would have pre-ordered, EAFC 25 by then.
Yeah, that's the thing. But man, UFL is gonna come out hopefully end of this year or something. It's free to play, so why not, right?
yes.
We should definitely give it a go. But yeah, Vinicius really happy with the rating. Even last season, from 80 to 86 plus 6 was mad. Like we remember, right? We were doing this and how excited we were, especially after the Champions League win and whatnot. Um, but yeah, plus 3, nice. Bellingham, I was hoping 87, but 86, fair enough.
Yeah, man. Now I'm just like curious, like what will his rating be if we actually play him at false time?
Yeah, he'll probably go to
It'll go
Cam. His probably rating will improve, in career mode. Yeah, like Sunil said that there's no more winter refresh, so
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know, but probably he'll get some special cards.
100%. That this rate is bound to get a few. Um, I mean, performance-based cards. There are non-performance-based cards which they're gonna churn out for every other random guy out there. There are some community favorites like Atal and whatnot.
And
Yusuf
Yusuf
Atal.
Patha used to have a pretty good card once upon a time. The pace was there.
They still churn out for nostalgia's sake. Those guys who used to play them, they want to still try them out. They'll throw a couple Atal
Even
cards every year.
Bakayoko used to be better than most players, and
But Kayoko doesn't really get cards right now.
yeah,
Back
but
in the day, maybe.
back in FIFA 18, this guy had you had to have this card, in your midfield. If you,
Overpowered, physical and shit.
yeah,
Like, stall.
yeah.
very good combination of stats. But Bellingham looks nice. 75 shot, I think, going off his measly 8 goals in the league last year. This year is going to be different. Fingers crossed, hoping for the best. Bellingham, nice. For 19 years of age, 86 rated card is pretty damn nice, no? It's pretty fucking decent. Stuff of the dreams. I'll be honest. You know, even though Farooq would think, oh, it's nothing. He has 4 years of top flight experience. In reality, you should check his passport. He might be 30 years old.
When Sunil is talking about Bellingham, you should like I observe him. He'll be going like his voice will go like down like this, and you're thinking, oh, he's gonna stop now, and then suddenly go up again.
Why? Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm just voicing my opinion, man. There's no agenda over here. The agenda was with Rodrigo, who I'm going to get into. It's not with Bellingham.
Nobody who's watched this podcast ever gonna say you had an agenda for Rodrigo. I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah.
He was my boy, man. Like I don't understand why you guys look past my love for Rodrigo.
Man, now you have like a different love, man. You have another love.
Hey, see. I'm not a playboy, okay? So you gotta relax.
This is true love. Huh? This is true love.
No. The fuck. Look at me. I have to, really fuck, man. Rodrigo. Nah, bro. Rodrigo's different. It's always gonna be different. For just that night, against City, it's always gonna be different. Recently, I've been having some indifferent views of him because he hasn't been really. Because I expect so much more with Rodrigo, man. Honestly, because as a Rodrigo stan, it pains me in a different way. Obviously, I love Vinny. I want him to do well, but I would like Rodrigo to be on the same level.
Yeah, I think this is the season. He's gonna get continuity and everything. So we'll see.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's what we are all predicting.
Personally, I think his shooting should be higher, man. At least better than Vinny. Vinny has 82. He has 81.
I think last season he missed a lot of chances. So.
But a +4. Yeah, I think it's decent.
It's decent, definitely. Yeah, I think we move on to Mendy and Guler. Arda Guler, I don't know.
First time.
Excited about him. Let's see.
First time in FUT. Guler, he didn't have a card before.
He did? I think he did. He was like in 60s.
No, bro, because I remember searching for him far and wide in FIFA 23, and he didn't have a card. I might be wrong, but I did try and buy him. Did try to buy him last year, but couldn't get him.
He used to be in career mode as for now.
Career mode for sure. I'm talking about FUT. Career mode he would be there because it's different, right? It's different. Mendy got a -1. I don't know for what. Maybe for being injured.
Probably.
Yeah, the guys who EA paid to go watch the game, they weren't able to see him, so they got a -1.
It pays too much. They just gave them the free games.
But guys, if you actually play FIFA, you would realize the importance of this Mendy. This Mendy card is the only chance against guys like Salah.
Yeah, definitely. His physical
Sterling.
Space is pretty decent, man.
Oh my God, Mendy is.
I remember in FIFA 22, if you used Mendy, you wouldn't use any other left back.
100%. He was my.
He had that explosiveness that you don't see in other fullbacks. No?
Either Mendy or Theo. These both.
No, I like Mendy more. He had, once when you play offline, the stats would grow and they'll reach a potential. So when this guy used to get around 85, he had that a certain explosiveness in his game. When you could just go past players without doing anything. So Mendy's card was pretty good.
Yeah, Mendy is a proper bull, man. Especially in the game, he's a real pain to play with, and also has a 5-star weak foot, which is again a huge asset when playing out of the back and trying to beat the press. Mendy is really helpful. Yeah, Guler, I'm excited, man. Hopefully one of the first players I buy. He has a face scan. Thank fuck for that. Thank fuck EA. I'm gonna be super, pumped to try him out and shit. Let's hope he gets a few promo cards and whatnot. Gets a few performance-based cards. Rumors are that he's gonna get some minutes, right? End of September. So really looking forward to it. So I guess that's pretty much it with the Real Madrid ratings. Let's just quickly run through the new heroes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob,
Brought it up.
if you can. Oh, let me bring that up. Let me send it to Mo as well. Wait, so that he can look at it on his WhatsApp. Just give me a second, Mo.
So this is the only place we're gonna be looking at these cards. We're not gonna get them in game. So
No, they're gonna be cheaper, bro. Heroes are much more cheaper than you expect.
okay.
Where the fuck did I send it to you, Jacob, on WhatsApp?
I'll send it back to you again. Yeah. I'll send it back in the group, I guess.
I found it. I
Cool.
found it. Okay, there you go, Mo. Check WhatsApp. So these are our batch of new heroes for 23-24. Starting with Gianluca Vialli. We haven't really seen him. He's before our times, but only good stuff to say about him. I think he passed away right earlier this year, but yeah, very good striker. 89 rated. Can't say much about him. But Tevez 88. People who have played FIFA back in the day knew how much of a problem Carlos Tevez was always in game, but his pace is a bit too low. He used to be always upper 80s, 88, 87 constantly. So I don't understand why it's EA's plan to basically push out more cards.
I think Vincent Company's card is pretty good. 80 pace
Yeah,
and 90
yeah,
defending. That guy's gonna be a big problem. And
100%.
even Schneider's card is pretty.
I'm gonna try and get him 100%.
Yeah, his defense is bad, but the rest of the stuff is brilliant. So he's gonna be a very good cam in the game, I think.
For a cam, yeah. I miss playing Snyder, man. Honestly, I used to love him. Used to love all the Dutch guys, growing up. To be honest,
Even this card for Paulo Futre is like this card, man.
Paulo Futre, I have no idea who he is. He's a La Liga hero, by the way.
Yeah, he used to play for Atleti, I think.
Atleti, yeah, okay.
So damn fast. 93 pace.
Left wing. Lizarazu, obviously, World Cup winner. Great fullback. The women, no idea. Ledmanen was a hero card. After massive fan protest, I think the Finnish people would be a bit hard done by, but they downgraded him from an icon to a hero. But
So
I guess it was.
Ashik said, I've seen Vialli play his Sampdoria days, Juve days, Italia 90.
Yeah, it was way back in the day. I wasn't even a sperm in 1990, right? Berbatov, 87, decent.
I used to like the way he played, man. He was pretty,
Berbatov, yeah, very unique.
Very classy player, if I may.
One of the best first touches you'll ever see. The way he kills the ball.
It's one of the titles that you should definitely, everybody should definitely watch. Whoever has not watched him play live. Yeah, I think it was one of those games where he started the counter attack and finished it. I don't know if you guys remember it.
For United?
Fulham?
Yeah, for United.
I don't remember because I haven't watched any of those games live.
I'll look it up and send it to you guys.
Compilations. I've only seen compilations of Berbatov because again, I wasn't into football, while he was at his peak. But yeah, brilliant player, Berbatov, obviously. I think he has a Premier League.
Probably. He's for United and Spurs, so.
Yeah. And the next guy is Rui Costa, one of my brother's favorite ever players. He used to go gaga over Rui Costa, and I used to ask him, "Who the fuck is he?" And he used to tell me, "You have no idea who this man is. Like you gag over guys like Ozil. This man was their godfather, and blah blah blah." But now I understand him. When I grew up and started watching some of the stuff that Rui Costa used to do, man is kind of overlooked for what he brought to the game. He used to do crazy stuff, man. Rui Costa, absolute icon. McManaman.
He criticized somebody so much they gave him a Premier League hero card.
Who?
McManaman. He criticized
But the thing is, bro, like throughout the season, like they'll switch up the leagues. They can still give him a La Liga card as well, right? Down the time. But this is kind of, he won fucking 2 Champions Leagues with us. What did he win with Liverpool? Like an FA Cup or something? A League Cup? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Like some domestic honor. I think just one trophy or something. with us, he won 2 Champions Leagues and scored in one of them against Valencia, right? So
Yeah,
I don't understand.
if his card came out with a La Liga hero card, he'd probably criticize it. So.
Yeah, maybe he called them up. Maybe they originally intended because us
The
and EA.
kit is Real Madrid's, if you look at it.
Yeah, it is. It is the black kid being whitened or something, no?
No, it's a white kit. You see the colors and stuff.
Oh, it's a white kid, yeah. Okay,
Mm.
okay. I thought it was the kid from the 2000s final, but right.
Ashik says,
McManaman is it?
yeah, Mecca
Go on.
scored a memorable goal against Valencia in the UCL final. Can't forget that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's a
2000.
brilliant goal, man.
2000.
Like a volley, basically jumping, leaping in the air. It's like yeah, one of those finishes that you can't really get enough of. Like it's truly the first time I saw that. Like I still remember, I was very young. Obviously not in 2000s, but when I first saw it, I was like, how the fuck did he actually manage to connect the ball? Like connect with the ball. Like it's so difficult to pull it off in real time. But yeah, man, McManaman. The more I hear about him, people who used to watch him, they say he is very underrated for the kind of player he was. He was a player who was ahead of his time, where the Brits really didn't have, weren't really known for their dribbling and whatnot. McManaman was this new wave kind of English talents who were, very adept with the ball at their feet. So yeah, man, big up Steve McManaman always. I'm gonna try to get him 100%. Ramirez, obviously, icon. Pretty fucking iconic. His goal against Barcelona, always thankful. What an absolute banger. I still remember seeing Ramirez in the Samsung sponsored Chelsea shirts, who were always a fond memory.
Yeah, him and Oscar,
What?
man. Even Oscar was good back
Yeah,
then.
that
I always
those Chelsea
remember him.
shirts were really good.
I
Go
always
on, Mo.
remember him for the goal against Barcelona in
Mm.
the Champions League. I don't know
The
if you
the
guys
fin
remember it. 2012.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Like the finish is just out of this
Yeah.
world. One of the best I've ever seen.
This guy used to play
Uh,
for the Chinese team that I support.
oh, Shanghai, right,
Not
right,
Shanghai. He
yeah.
used to play for Jiangsu. They have the
Jiangsu.
same ownership as Inter Milan. So
Oh,
Oh, okay.
this guy and Alex Teixeira.
Ah, Texera. He used to have OP cards in FIFA as well. If you didn't know,
No,
Texera.
I know. Teixeira, Eder, and this guy. They were the
Oh,
team.
okay. Ben Yedder, you mean?
Eder.
Which Yedder?
He played for Inter. He was like Italian striker. I think it was brother and
Oh,
brother or something.
oh, I think I know about him. Eder or EDR. I
Yeah.
think I've heard of him. Right. Kanu, Arsenal hero, wasn't exactly an icon, but I've seen some of his goals. Pretty skillful guy for
Yeah,
someone
I
who is
think his
tall.
impact in the game is pretty huge. Kanu.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Farouk would know better, but I've seen some of his goals, bro. And some of his, yeah, like for someone who is that lanky, um, how nifty he was with his feet, like it would surprise you. Like he's pretty good, pretty good. Kanu. When I think about Kanu, it's always me confusing between this Kanu and Solomon Kalu.
oh,
When I was way younger, because I didn't have a much higher grasp with names, like I used to confuse them a lot, thinking one is the other, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But
Samuel Kalu played for Chelsea. Yeah,
for
France 20
Chelsea,
international.
yeah. Right. Who else? Who else?
I think this Arne Risa card is pretty brilliant.
What less can you expect, man? Man was an absolute sharpshooter from left back as well. Free kicks, long shots. He was your Carlos at home, basically, in a way, right? Like he was
yeah.
very good. John
Better
and
than
Reese,
better
like,
than just at home, man. Like some of those goals, I don't think Carlos also had that same shot
he
power,
very unique player, right?
Yeah.
Very unique. Like, why don't we have that kind of specimens, man? Like a Collar Rowe. Why don't we have that in 2023 much? I don't understand it, right? I think it's
Thomas
just the way.
Rosicky also has a decent card, huh?
Love the player. Love the
Yeah.
player. Always one of the lesser known magicians. But if he actually had a longer career, like he would be up there regarded with your decos and whatnot. But yeah, Rosicky was truly brilliant to watch. I haven't seen him live, but the stuff I've seen in compilations and how people speak about Rosicky for a very short span of time he
I'm
was at
actually
Arsenal.
for me, my memories of him is always he was injured. Uh,
Yeah, no, but when people actually mention Rosicky, like they
yeah, he
have
was
that
pretty
same.
shaky whenever he was on the pitch, but I think unfortunately, mostly he was injured.
Mm,
He had a lot of injuries at Arsenal. Let's just
mm,
put it this way.
right. Right. Guiley, I haven't seen Guiley play. I haven't even seen the compilations of Guiley, but I think Ashik would know better. Right. Who
He used to
else?
play for Barcelona, I think.
Yeah, I
He
think I've seen him in a Barcelona kit sometime. Yeah, you might be right. True, true. Um, Bompasta, no idea. Women's, no idea. Alex Scott, obviously we would know
that's not
her.
Alex Scott.
'Cause
That's not somebody else, I think.
somebody
Or
else?
is it Alex Scott?
I think it's Alex Scott, no?
Okay, I don't know
She
either.
used she used to be a wing back. I'm not sure. But Beasley, no idea. Do you know who Beasley was? More?
Yeah, DeMarcus Beasley used to play for US.
Oh, was he good?
Yeah. I've never watched him. I just know his name.
Okay, okay, fine. But yeah, that pretty much is new stuff for EAFC 24. Jacob, take it away, man. Housekeeping shit.
Sounds good. Nah, man, Sumit, you do it, man. You do it best. Are you gonna
Oh,
are you gonna shout out the vote campaign? Is it still on?
yeah.
It's closed, right?
Would
September 3rd?
Yeah, it's closed. It's closed. It's
It's
100%
closed.
closed, but we still are getting in some votes. I don't know how. Maybe people look at our description and still, guzz and vote anyway. But yeah, man, much love
I
for
don't keep
doing it.
voting. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Obviously, it's not going to be counted, but it's still, I think,
We
a
appreciate
sh
it.
yeah, a show of appreciation from your side. So we really do, like Mo said, appreciate it because last year we didn't have the platform or the opportunity. We were just starting out. So this year I think it makes much more sense for us to at least be in the running for at least one of the categories, and I think we are. That
And,
just hmm,
it is definitely good to know that our voters are just, beyond Jacob's family members. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Man, this
I
time they didn't
remember
pull through. Like most of them didn't pull through.
they didn't vote. Yeah, fuck man, I'm disappointed, man.
but
Disappointed.
Jacob, don't worry, I'm here for you. I'm your family member now.
Yeah, man,
I saw
appreciate
this
it.
guy's comments.
Yeah.
Fucking cringe, man. Why do you embarrass our man Jacob like this, man? Like honestly, like he has his fans, who is lurking, and them seeing
Yeah,
that would undermine his overall standing in the community, bro. Like it's not good.
Jacob, I apologize, man. I had nothing.
But yeah, man. Would like to thank every single one of you who voted from the bottom of our hearts. The finalists, I think, would be announced the end of this month or something. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, we at least stand a chance of getting a shot at one of the two categories that we've been nominated in. Uh, I think it's going to be an event in Anfield. A couple of our listeners from UK has already reached out to us and mentioned that if we do, stand a chance at the final event, they would love to, show up at the awards and kind of link up and whatnot. I've told them like definitely, man. Like if we are actually, if we get any insider info that we're going to land something, we're going to hit you guys up, and you guys are going to be hopefully helping us in representing Let's Be Real podcast, because I think just Mus lives in the UK among us, just one person from South London, and he has to travel all the way to Anfield. It'll be not too easy, so I would like him to have some company as well. It's all good, it's all in good spirits. Shout out to every single one of you again who sends us DMs on Instagram, especially on Instagram, saying us, telling us that we accompany them on gym reps, on morning walks, on night drives. It's honestly like even if it's like a line of um, one line message, basically to let us know that we kept them taken. It's a big thing, man. Honestly, when we started this, we didn't have any sort of an expectation to be uh, a life changer. None of us is life changers. We are not Sid Lows. We are not working for the Guardian or the Athletic. We are just fans, just like any of you guys who just came together to talk about the club we love. Simple as. So
As well as
stuff like that,
Barcelona.
huh?
As well as Barcelona.
Barcelona. Oh, okay, right. Now is not the time, bro. Now is not the time. But yeah, man, it's honestly really humbling. I would like to thank every single one of you who does that and reaches out to us. Please keep doing that. It's what keeps us motivated. That's the only motivation we have. And big up also Sid and his brilliant hustle, especially in Madrid. We have been keeping this coming for the past 2-3 weeks. It's not easy, but amid all the um, brilliant, amid all the hectic schedules we have, like we still somehow manage to pull stuff off. Um, so yeah, man, keep showing love to whatever we put out, and if you get the chance, join us live, because making this a two-way street is the main fun behind what we do. That's what we look forward to every single time we schedule a live. We look forward to having a two-way conversation. That's really the biggest motivation for us to turn up, no matter what our days are looking like. But yeah, man, any final thoughts, Mo and Jacob?
Yeah, before we go, Ashik had a question for us, or a statement. He says he has insider info, and he says we are going to pursue Mbappe next summer. So he's basically asking us if we're going to have any more specials on
Yeah, man. From now on, one every month.
one
And
every
when it
month.
comes to January, two. And when it's June, five.
June would be interesting,
Yeah.
honestly.
Five specials on Mbappe.
Mm.
I'm just hoping that Francesco gets the permission from our club and he actually gets to make the podcast, man. It'll be such a big deal for us. Can't wait.
And
Hopefully, it works out, and yeah, fingers crossed, honestly. And we can ask him actually, what were you guys thinking about Mbappe? I need to hear from him. What were your thoughts? Because if Ancelotti moves on, Francesco is also moving out. So I don't think he'll have that to worry about. If the club gives him permission to, tell us about what actually went inside the Mbappe, fiasco in general. But again, we have the preview right this week, hopefully Thursday.
yep,
Jacob,
we should have a preview. Yeah.
S- Sociedad game. It's going to be massive. Second home game of the season. Um, Looking to continue in the same vein, and hopefully, and
We're
also
definitely gonna see a goal by Kubo assisted by Odriozola. So just be prepared for
Fuck's
that.
sake. Wait, Odrisola
I can
left?
just
Like, that's for sure. Uh,
Yeah, he
yeah,
left.
oh,
he,
thank
There
God.
he
was
he's
even a
been.
comunicado oficial.
Uh,
He's in Sociedad now, but I can totally see that coming, man. 100%. That's not out of the picture. Um, but yeah, and after that we do have the Union Berlin Champions League match day as well. We have some wonderful people from Germany. Also, we'll be hopefully linking up with them and doing some previews and whatnot. So keep your eyes peeled out. We are looking to learn more about Union Berlin. I've seen a couple of games about them, of them, but I don't have an in-depth grasp of what their identity is or what their struggles have been. But I know for a fact that it's a truly brilliant underdog story. Like rags to riches proper. The Union Berlin miracle has been
Just
truly
a
commendable.
touch below Manchester City's rags to riches story.
Without the influx of oil money, should be added in as well. Proper football club, 100%. Doing it the right way, right? I hope Steve is still in Slovenia or something on holiday and not tuning in. But until next time, people. Ala Madrid.
Hala
Hala
Madrid,
Madrid.
go FIFA.